ways. The crazy, and let me give you a crazy example. So that was Epstein. We've actually just recently seen the Iranians in their little sort of info war that they're playing back and forth. They're doing an information war against the Trump administration, trying to subvert and undermine what the administration is saying that they're doing. One of the things they put out was this Lego video. They've got a bunch of them, but the most recent one of them basically accuses Donald Trump of being a pedophile protector, which is related to Jeffrey Epstein, that people are calling for Epstein transparency, and they're not letting that go. They're not letting this stuff fall away. And I think a lot of Americans lost faith in what the administration would do simply because of that. And a lot of this had to do with discrediting done by people that were already in the government.
Trumpy baby, you a PD?
You cannot do
fucking PD boy. Yeah, nigga out there. Nigga fucking all the kids on the tippy ties on the panty side. You sipping all the fucking sipping all the one side. You want some waterproof?
And you did one of two things. Either you exiled them or you executed them. Those are your two choices. They can no longer work in government and they may have to leave the country. That's what they used to do. We don't really do that here. Or they got to be killed. They got to be put to death. We've had none of that, but they're pointing out.
Well, we got some of that. Lindsay is the example right there. Lindsay getting too motherfucking cute, nigga. He was getting too motherfucking cute, nigga. He started thinking he the boss, nigga. I'm the motherfucking boss, nigga.
About how the Chinese stole the election.
Who the fucking boss, Lindsay? Your ass know now he had. His ass know now, don't he? You know I ain't for the fucking play.
That they were having access to information they shouldn't have had that was in the voter rolls, etc. So, Kash Patel went to China. And did he do something about election security? Was he there to ensure that the 2026 midterms are going to be above board? No. No, he went there and talked about who knows what, like maybe fentanyl, and maybe talking about his Chinese stock portfolio, which involves a holding company that has like, close to $5 million or somewhere between $1 and $5 million.
Nah, nigga, don't be worrying about what my holding company got, nigga.
Our FBI director hearing the president of the United States talk about a threat.
Don't worry about all that, nigga. You don't even know all that.
Less attention than it probably should have for a long time.
Don't be worried about all the what I'm doing.
They're the biggest in size. They have the biggest in scope. They have the biggest military spending. They're running the proxy.
Don't worry about what I'm doing, nigga.
Threats, and they work regular and active operations against the United States. So apparently we can go there and we're going to make nice with them and hang out and speak with the, like the Minister of Public Security. Like with our FBI director, and we're not going to talk about the one thing that the president spent 20 plus minutes in a national address on just a few days ago.
That's a great point. Yeah, and just this whole topic, and we're talking about the Epstein files first, and like the very apparent.
Testing. Don't worry about all that.
Here's the thing that broke my heart, got me off the Trump train pretty much permanently, is when he says Epstein, who did he traffic? He basically didn't even exist. He just
there we go. This is Money Booty. You on the Money Booty show. This is not a drill. We're moving in. The enemy is on the random. Thanks for putting me in. This booty get these motherfuckers. They owe me money.
With Jeffrey Epstein. Those are the charges.
And Kash Patel went. Go ahead. And Kash Patel went on record under oath in a hearing, and Thomas Massie held his feet to the fire on this. He did it both in front of the Senate and he did it in front of the House committees. And when he was asked, like, who did he traffic to? He's like, we have no evidence of anybody. And so
we'll be fucking. What kind of scheme? Think I need to just pull the fire around.
And this was open source reported in a number of places that the Israelis were involved in the physical security at Jeffrey Epstein's penthouse mansion in New York. Okay, so the Israelis were involved in physical security, which means they had cameras, they had some sort of monitoring system, etc. When a foreign country gets involved in U.S. soil and is securing the residence where one of maybe their, and it was the Israeli permanent mission to the UN, unless people want to go and fact check this, this is what it said. The Israeli permanent mission to the UN was the one that set up some of the security in that penthouse. There's no chance that you don't have a counterintelligence investigation into Jeffrey Epstein and the people that are associated with him. It's not possible. So
hostiles are moving on our sector. Guard your objectives and wear them down. Move out.
In a long-term intelligence investigation into Jeffrey Epstein, and we've seen exactly 0 files out of that. Now, those are probably carved out from the Epstein Transparency Act, the Epstein File Transparency Act. Security. But the entire purpose of what Donald Trump came in and the entire point that Kash Patel has been making for the last, several years is that we need the transparency and declassification and so on. sent you guys a clip, and I sent it. It's from the Tucker Carlson show. It's with my friend Jim Erdman, who was in the CIA. It's the first clip that I sent. And if you guys take a look at this, he basically breaks down this massive disconnect, which is that Donald Trump has issued executive orders saying declassify these things. Theoretically has the force and the ability to declassify certain things, but she couldn't even get it from her own subservient agency. The FBI works on behalf of the DOJ, and the Attorney General is the top figure in the Justice Department, to include in the FBI. When I was having COVID policy shoved down
Nigga, I
my
broke my
throat,
box. Who was looking for?
it came from DOJ, not from the FBI. Implemented, but DOJ ran it. And so when the Attorney General, Pam Bondi, who's supposed to come in and be on the page of the president, all the president's surrogates were talking about transparency with Epstein and about MLK and talking
All units push up and engage. I need shooters on the front lines.
MK Ultra. They were going to do all these declassification operations. People always wonder, like, how in the hell does that not happen? Where does it happen? Where does it get jammed up? And at this point, I think the system is just so big.
We're behind enemy lines.
Why it's tending and pushing back towards war, because it's been doing war for 25 years and it's what it knows. And so if you guys want to knock that clip out, it'll explain to you. This is a former CIA case officer.
Really quick, while we get the clip loaded in, Drew, just let me know when it's ready. Here's how I see it all, Kyle, and you can give your expert opinion on it. It's basically like we got a dead body, and it's covered with the tarp, and there's blood coming out from underneath it. You can see the feet sticking up, you can see the nose, you can see it's a person, and you're like, this officer, okay, can I see what's under that tarp, please? That looks awful suspicious. They're like, come on, man, it's a pallet of wood.
It'll be even worse than that. They'll say,
Enemy has taken Alpha.
Yeah, that's a good way to
We'd
put
love to
it.
show you what's underneath there, and you probably have I mean, you might be right. I'm just saying, but we have a TARP policy, and the TARP policy says nobody can lift the TARP without the following checkoffs. We're gonna
First game, boys. First game in, baby.
run by a couple of other agencies. We're gonna ask the people who manufacture the TARP. We're gonna have to find the person that put the original TARP down and see if they clear it. And then also there may be some interest.
We will not go quietly into the
Getting
night.
very litigious, and it's like the roadblocks get thrown up. They're artificial and they're made up. At the end of the day, you or I or the officers there or anybody else could lift up the TARP. In your analogy,
Nigga, this fucking battlefield, boy. Goddamn, they say Donald Trump about to bring out the draft. He about to draft niggas, man. Trying to get ready for
There's a lot
war.
of chirping. And so that's where the default position is. The default position is, what have we always done? We'll just keep doing that. Oh, did the executive say we have to declassify? Yeah, but we don't really want to do that, because when we do that,
It's
then we'll
time
lose
to
some
prepare
secrets.
for battle.
What if we were to do this terrible thing where we expose something we didn't mean to? It's better and safer that we just don't do what the
Heard our
President of the United
sources.
States of America said.
Heard our victims, stuff like that. Okay, we've got
Yeah.
the clip. You want to intro this again really quick?
Yeah, it's real simple. It's Tucker Carlson. The guy who's sitting here is Jim Erdman. He's a friend of mine, so full disclosure, I like Jim a lot. I think he's an awesome person. He's given up a lot personally that is not obvious in this podcast, and the podcast is worth people's time for listening. He's a former case officer in the CIA, which means he went overseas. He speaks Mandarin, he speaks Arabic, and obviously English. He was a ranger in the 75th Ranger Battalion. So as far as people who have like the bona fides of being an American hero, he fits into my category pretty aggressively. And he used to recruit spies for America. He would go and recruit people in foreign governments and in foreign places to give information to the American government, so theoretically our policymakers could make good choices. And he's talking about, why don't we see this action that we thought we were going to see in transparency?
Let's play it.
Do that. You could, in theory. What do you mean in theory? This is the president's agency. He was elected by the public. No. To run the CIA. Like,
Put one in.
Sorry, no. You are 100% treat right. CIA like it's a foreign power that he has to negotiate with. I can't understand why. It's the craziest thing I've ever seen.
It should work like that, but it's not. It's not working like that. There are negotiations. Like, frankly, Director Gabbard shouldn't have to negotiate with Director Ratcliffe over some of this stuff. She had people in her team that have all the intelligence background to handle the type of products coming out of the CIA, operational traffic, those sort of things, and everybody's got to negotiate. Why do we have to negotiate?
All units, enemy communications must be destroyed. Targets are monitored. Move out.
I want all available documentation.
Okay, Dad.
And,
Our troops have set explosives on Alpha.
a month, I want it, but second, or you're under arrest. I don't want
Guarantee.
I wish I knew because we expected
This is not a drill.
when
I repeat, this is not a drill.
greatest disruptor. But he's not. For some reason, he's not being the greatest finisher. In my
Charges on objective Alpha have been disarmed.
I don't get it. I don't.
What's my
I
six?
don't understand because we really want to see him successful.
So how hard is it to get, and I'll just get a pick the most benign of them all, and that was Kennedy's murders because it's so old, right? It's not possibly revealing sources and methods, everyone's dead. Like, I don't really see the legitimate impediment to producing these documents after all these years and all these votes by Congress to do it in multiple executive orders, including this. Of course, they have not.
Fuck, how did I not get that guy?
Why would it be hard for Trump just to say, time's up, I want him now?
There is a sea of lawyers who covets and say, here's all the things that are.
All units, push up and engage.
sideways with the law. Here's all.
Push up and engage.
You are leaving the combat
But he
area.
does. Correct. He could do it immediately.
Oh, damn, I went the wrong
But
direction.
for some reason, the bureaucrats, they all sit around kvetching over all the legal ramifications.
Wow, that's literally the tarp analogy that I just gave. Yeah, break that down.
That's what
Moving in on Alpha. All units, move on Alpha.
Number one is the bureaucratic stuff. I guess there's three things. The second thing is that
Multiple bogeys. Smoke out. Smoke out.
Break things. I think that's a fair characterization of what Donald Trump sort of said he was going to do. He was going to drain the swamp. Yeah, he was going to come in and, you know, we elected a guy who
Grenade.
first campaign.
Take cover. Shots fired. Shots fired.
Our troops armed with explosives on Alpha.
Contact.
You can say F you, you gotta say F you though, and he doesn't say F you. What we see him saying is he got demolished in the first term. Lost net, you know, his network went down. And in this term,
Take cover. All units, take cover on Alpha. Evasive maneuvers.
speculating on stuff.
Be advised, troop numbers have fallen.
And so we've seen the exact opposite of the
Give me grenade. Grenade.
greatest disruptor of the system.
All remaining targets are neutralized.
6 months, we started seeing some pretty good action for those of us that were
Reload, men. Reload, men. One down, one down, one down. Multiple bogeys. Fire and wheel. I need you firing. Moving up and engaging. Moving up and engaging. You're on the Money Buddha Show. You're live. Do it for your family. Do it for your country.
Saw the system reassert itself in a way that shows it.
We're moving out. More or less destroyed. We're moving out. We're moving out.
The opposite has happened in this one. That's kind of what we're seeing. The second thing is, or the last thing in there, just as I finish up, Jim mentioned that Congress and the White House end up treating the intelligence community like a foreign power.
Right.
That they have to go to the intelligence community and ask for things when they, in fact, are supposed to have oversight and execution, and they're supposed to be able to demand things, and they don't act subservient to the groups. So we have a country inside of a country that's operating on its own interest. Israel or whatever else.
One down. One down.
Fighting, and they're not.
Right, it's very clear like a dark power interest. And you look at that interview with Dan Bongino and Cash Patel where it really all went south for me. They said, I've seen the file, he killed himself. You know, that's just a complete betrayal of the American public, in my opinion. I don't know how you can square that.
The enemy has started up explosives on Alpha.
He wrote a book, you can look this up, this isn't fake, where he is a little knight.
All units, switch up and engage. There we go. Nice save. Nice save. Multiple bogeys. Smoke out. Smoke out.
State prosecutions,
Moving in on Alpha. Hold the lines. I need shooter. Hold the line.
Look at Christopher Ray and the Jet, Cash Patel.
We got man down. Man down. Get off the ground, soldier. Supply crate inside the building. He on Alpha. He's on his belly on Alpha. Give me eyes on the target. I need eyes on the target.
I'm very specific about when this happens.
Contact. M16 on the ready. Damn whole building coming down. The whole goddamn building's coming down.
And I went to Josh's office, or Senator Howie's office. I shared it with either chief of staff or like.
There you go. Get him up. Get him up off the ground.
When you can carry.
Called protective disclosure, whistleblower allegation. And I have
They're moving up. They're moving up. Throwing grenades on Alpha.
Christopher Ray is abusing this jet.
I got eyes on the target.
Fraud, waste, and abuse debt.
Explosion. They're done. We're done. Moving to B. Moving to B.
And so
They're coming in on Bravo. They're coming in on Bravo. Grenade. That's how you win the war, man. Sidearm. Pull out your sidearm.
this other guy as well, and so I'm bringing you this allegation as protective disclosure.
Smoke out. Smoke out.
And so from January of 2023 to February of 2025, Patel went from campaigning on, advertising he was against it, saying he didn't need a private jet, telling Glenn Beck it cost $15,000 every single
There you go. Keep moving, man. Keep moving.
I am required to fly like this, and I have to, and Congress says I need to. By the way, it's not
They said they want to go to war with Iran. God damn it, and Iran is on.
change it tomorrow. You can start flying on the jet. But we've seen these people basically come in and say the Democrats seem to want to grow government for every reason, and the Republicans seem they're completely agnostic about the size of government as long as they're in control.
Moving in. Flying in. Regroup on Bravo.
I was watching the Republican Party that I wasn't a member of, but they said they wanted small government. Right. They at least campaigned on saying let's shrink the size of government. Nobody's making that argument anymore.
I got eyes on the target.
Size of government, what they care about is
Pop and smoke.
in charge of this government so I can profit.
Smoke.
And Patel is a great example. of
Boom.
someone who's out there living like a billionaire playboy,
Pop and smoke.
even though he doesn't have $1 billion, flying around on our jet,
Smoke.
acting like it's his own.
Boom.
He's got a girl who is his friend, and for whatever it's worth, they're actively suing me for $5 million for words that I said offhand.
There you go. Bravo. Bravo. Moving in. Moving in. Shots fired. Contact with the enemy.
Instead of trying to mitigate damages. So I have a personal stake in this for sure. But what I voted for was, I don't know, America.
We're sneaking in behind enemy lines. All tactical units spawn on my position.
You should say what you want, and if it hurts people's feelings, welcome to America. That's right. And instead, what we got is a quote-unquote Republican group, a quote-unquote conservative group come in, and they're doing all the same things that the last guys did. But
I got eyes on Bravo. Looks like I'm the one to do it.
terrible choice. And they say
They're camping somewhere in the bushes. Be careful. Give me eyes on the bushes.
nostalgia. They ran on the idea that America was once great and we could.
Number three. Plan on Bravo. 69. Move. 69.
That's great because we're in charge. We're doing the hard work. Thank you.
There it is. Grenade.
I'll be back on the show soon. Kyle,
Grenade.
on X. Thank you so much. We'll be right back with Mike Adams after the break. Take what you can carry.
I got eyes on Bravo. Grenade. Grenade.
Armed explosives on Alpha.
Armed on Alpha. Armed on Bravo. All units be advised. We are securing the position. Shots fired. Shots fired. There you go. Nice cover. Nice cover. Take cover. Take cover. They're on top of the building. Shooters on top of the building.
The powerhouse of yourselves. Let's bring out the mitochondria now.
Whoever did that spawn point, put the spawn point somewhere else. Please spawn on that. Move that shit around to the side. Bravo, that's game. Is that victory? That's victory. That's the war. That's the war, man. You go back home to your family. Tell them what we did here. Remember what we did here. Remember the battle.
Dr. Bigley, he must have drank a lot of methylene blue. He was bouncing off the walls.
You are, Billy. You sure drank a lot. Let's continue, shall we? Billy, did you know that methylene blue
Damn, that was quick.
communist?
No, sir. See?
That was a quick one.
Take a look over there. Behold, Ivan, a Ruski doggedly determined to undermine our way of life.
We will not go quietly into the night.
Careful, Billy. He bites. Oh, look, vodka, potato hooch.
We're gonna live on. We're gonna survive.
Organism is slowly leaving his body.
Wow, the methylene blue cured the red right out of him.
So, how do you feel?
Gee, Doc,
I don't know what got into me. I feel like
It's 2 games in a row, boys. I don't lose on this shit, goddammit.
I get some more of that blue stuff.
I was trained for this.
You can find it on the AlexJonesStore.com.
What does .com mean?
The M16 on the ready.
We stand in the birthplace of new media, InfoWars.com, founded by my father, Alex Jones, 32 years ago in 1997. The year was 2014 when they originally built this studio, and not long after, President Donald Trump would join my father on the air to do his first ever appearance in media in general, talking about the presidency.
Yes, man, this is not a drill. Get ready and prepare for combat. The enemy is all around you.
My father, sitting in this very chair, looking out at this very scene as you see before you right now, interviewed Donald Trump. Donald Trump said to my father, Alex, you will be very impressed. I hope you are a good man. I will not let you down.
All squads, commence attack on enemy positions. Keep pushing until we secure all sectors.
Go on, aquatic.
Depression that we're in. I think about the Ukraine war. I think about the Gaza genocide. I think about all of it, all the political persecution, all the pain. And I ask you, where were you for us? Because it would have been a very small matter to save this studio from being destroyed.
Our attack on Alpha is in progress.
The government allowed major law firms
Attack support is needed on the marked objective.
to spend tens of millions of dollars to legal work against us as charity work, as pro bono work. The very same firms
Bravo.
that sued
One deck. One down.
he called warfare and he called malicious prosecution. They came after us as well.
All right, our troops are taking Bravo.
Take a look around you again. People have said that things said in this room are too extreme.
Move it in, flanking Bravo.
They're wrong. Well, I ask you, if it's so wrong,
Shots fired. I'm hit. Man down. Man down.
Alex Jones should
Sniper fire. Sniper fire.
Where are Jesse Waters, Sean Hannity, Rachel Maddow, all of them? Where are their trillion-dollar judgments? These people have manufactured consent for multiple genocides and ethnic cleansings, leading to the deaths of millions of people since the early 2000s. Where is the equality?
Keep your head down. Goddammit. Snipers all around.
A man built all of this
Shots fired. Hot. I'm hit.
with his
Flying tourniquet. Flesh wound.
It's over
Grenade.
1,000 hours on it. He did that all by himself. Look at a Vice media. Look at a young Trump. These people have seen tens, if not
Uh-oh, contact. Bogey moving in on my position.
and there's still lost leaders, there's still failures, companies are still always in the wrong. They shut him because they were afraid of a place that generated 100
Gotta heal up. I'm hurt. I'm bleeding. I'm bleeding.
that generated that much money completely independently. All because of one man, go behind you that charity. All because of one man in one chair sending a message to the audience, and because of all the
All right, I got man down.
that have made this entire system harm because of this injury.
Contact. Contact. Shoot it. Shoot it. I got one down. One down. Multiple bogeys. Contact. Fire at Williams.
We're all Alex Jones. We're all InfoWars. And they can take that logo away. They can put a little onion on there and have Tim Idactor do a little jig. He can do a tap dance and shuck and jive for all I care. This place
Our forces have been weakened.
All units. All units. This is not a drill. Move with your brain. Move with your brain. Grenade. One down. Man down. Man down.
remember our history. This is an impact,
Grenade.
ladies and gentlemen. This is what is going on.
Two down. Two down. Grenade.
Here's my dad. He's been doing this the majority of his life. I've
There they go. I got eyes on the bogey. Far side. Far side.
right now on the network is speaking truth to power, anti-war, pro-humanity, pro-America. America first, not just a slogan.
They taking down the whole building.
That's what I believe in. That's what you believe in too. That's why I know you're listening to me on the network. We have the powerful Mike Adams joining us, polymath engineer, runs a testing facility, super smart guy, hosting the network for years and years and years.
Grenade.
Influence on me as well. Talk to Mike about all the interesting.
Damn, what is that? What is that? Heavy machine. They got heavy machine. Get on that main gun. They're getting fire with the main gun. What is that? Enemy fire, take cover. One coming in. Grenade. Double kill. Not in my war, you won't. Contact. Grenade. Move, shoot and move. I'm hit. I'm bleeding. Heal up. He's coming in. Ooh, I hit the motherfucker in the face. I gotta hit my right
50 years of liberty. Grab your treasure now and help keep us in the fight. Visit the Alex Jones store.
Oh, yeah, it's moving up. Defend on Alpha. Set up defensive position.
The answer to 1984 is 1776. You're listening to the Alex Jones Show.
We're doing our best. I know a lot of other young people across America trying to figure out what the hell is going on. You know, we'd like to have a future.
Damn, I was looking at that truck. I got hit. Good save, brother. Good save.
As the technocracy rapidly approaches, some would say it's already here. As the wars rapidly approach, some would say World War III or World War IV is already here. As the famine rapidly approaches, as just all of it comes together, I think it's worth it to have a guy on the network who's been on the network for years and years and years and stuff. Mike Adams has had such a phenomenal making these futurist predictions, a lot like my dad, especially when AI and of course with the work you've been doing with Michael Yon on the global energy war. How are you doing?
Grenade.
Your father was a trailblazer, continues to be, but I mean, even decades ago, he was saying things that turned out to be so accurate and so true, but they sounded so outlandish at the time, and now we realize, if anything, he kind of understated the horrors that we're now living through.
Sure. And that's the thing is man-made horrors beyond your comprehension. I wanted to talk about this. He was very, he hit it super proud of him for doing that.
Move, grenade.
I know I'm not.
I seen him too late. He was peeking. Grenade.
Talk about this. Trump admin gives vendors under 3 weeks to create computer simulation models for a military draft. So apparently by August 15th, they want to have this done. They want to have it ready. You don't do something like this unless you're prepping.
All right, and it's clear that they're planning for a
Grenade.
and it'll be something that probably makes
I overthrew the grenade. I'm fucking using these shitty ass fire grenades because I gotta get this mission done. Whatever this shit is, they want me to kill people with grenades.
the AI models. You know, this is why they want to have access to open source AI effectively.
Grenade.
Allows you to do your own research. But it's also why this is all going to be a cover story. The war is going to be a cover story for the collapse of the currency. And as the currency collapses, then they'll drive everybody in the same direction. And then they can, of course, program the money, control what you're allowed to buy and how you're allowed to spend. And then the flock cameras or the axon cameras, those will be the enforcers of your mobility and lockdown. And you'll have a radius of because of the diesel shortage and we're talking about multiple layers of the police state coming at us head on.
Yes, and the idea is the Americans are spoiled. The Americans have had it too good. You're going to have to feel some pain to defend your country.
Damn, boys, we might not win this one. They got us locked down bad. I need you flanking. I need you moving and I need you flanking.
On my mind, it's in my rundown. You're talking about Section 242. the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration to issue a federal motor vehicle safety standard.
That's my bad. I didn't see you coming up, whoever that was.
Vehicles to be equipped with advanced drunk and impaired driving prevention technology. So they're just going to watch you. If your eyes are low, seat, you're going to get a ticket. You're going to go to the police station.
Yeah, exactly. And remember, every one of these it's shrouded in the language of safety. So, you know, why do they block cameras? For the safety of your community, so you can catch that guy. Okay, well, that's not really how it's used by law enforcement.
Enemy forces have captured Alpha.
And things like that, or stalk women that they want to go on a date with.
Sniper fire, take cover.
To falsely identify people
Pick what you can carry.
by police who are completely innocent, who didn't steal their car, or even sometimes the wrong person, because there are a lot of false license plate transfers.
Whoa. They done blew the whole fucking goddamn roof off. My dumb ass exposed one trip.
Just because you're flagged by a flat camera, you've done absolutely nothing wrong.
Yeah,
And it's going to get far worse.
do you think we'll get to the point, obviously, the case is already there, that
Yeah, we lost this one, boys.
we'll get to a point in the next day?
This a weird spawn right here. They spawn us weird.
Absolutely. That's exactly where it's going. You know, it's interesting that also in Minority, right, from the K.J. film with Tom Cruise. Back and watching that movie today because almost everything in that film has come true, even though it's from, I think, over 20 years ago. But one of the things that happened in that film was that the Tom Cruise character...
Yeah, they spawn. It's a weird spawn.
...was in a vehicle, and then the vehicle did a U-turn on the highway and began to take him to drive him to a police station. And, of course, he in the film, he then smashed out the windows.
It looks like they want you to get on those vehicles and then provide auxiliary support.
Most people pull off. So, yeah, your car, see the full self-driving. And I want to be clear. What Tesla has built is extraordinary technology. It's quite amazing. The full self-driving feature set is really, really good. But the downside of that is that possibly with a government mandate, the Tesla company could be ordered in the same way that, for example, Facebook is ordered to turn over all the records of a particular user, or AT&T is ordered to turn over records. Tesla could be ordered to command a vehicle to drive an occupant to a police station to face arrest. And that's not Tesla's fault, you know. That's the government forcing them to do that, saying you have to do it. But if that begins to happen, and it hasn't happened yet, I'm not saying that that's where we are today, but if that begins to happen, then you'll see people ditching full self-driving vehicles completely. It's like, I didn't know I bought a prison on wheels.
Yeah, see, look, somebody said the same thing, man. That shit is a weird spawn on that one.
Clip number 13 pretty soon. It's Tim Dillon talking about a lot of the same stuff that we're talking about here. And, you know, humor really is the greatest weapon because you point out how absurd it is, right? The idea that we've ceded so much control just over the past 4 years to AI, to new technology, to the self-driving car. Here's my thing. When I see the Waymos driving around, when I
See, the only way really they don't let the open mics. You need entire fucking battalion communication. You can't just be talking to fucking 4 guys in a team game full of fucking hella people, dog. You gotta be able to coordinate the entire force. And they don't let you talk to everybody. They only let you talk to 4 guys. They need to have squad chat. They got squad chat, but they need team chat. Like, you know what I mean? That way you can talk to everybody so everybody can coordinate and be active. Hey, you know, we're attacking on Bravo right now. You 2 swing the Alpha. You see what I'm saying? You can't just have 1 squadron fucking goddamn. That's not how war works, bro. I mean, they need to work on those comms. The comms on this joint are fucking shitty. You know what I mean? Fucking goddamn. How you supposed to coordinate, dog? It's an information war. Why you think they got on them damn radios? You see this fucking radio? This goddamn radio? You see that, bitch? That's what the radio. That's what the radio is for.
Accidents or debris in the road. Now it's interesting because I started talking about getting off of fossil fuels and being able to use solar power to charge your own EV. After I started talking about that, without me pushing or anything, 4 of my own.
Look, they give you 3 vehicles. Weird shit like that, bro. Like, you can see somebody's fucking playing around. You should have as many vehicles as you need. It's nobody's business how many vehicles are on the battlefield. Weird ass shit like that. You know what I mean? This guy just drives straight through the whole map like a weirdo.
As a human, it's like, well, I still drive sometimes. times when it's difficult, but I just let the vehicle do the driving for me, so I can do other things, you know, listen to podcasts or whatever. So that is going to happen to the point where the real point is
like in the very beginning, basically, you got to establish command and control from like the onset.
You're just a passenger. There's no possibility of you having control over the vehicle. That's a vehicle that I don't ever want to get in, frankly, because I always want to have like.
You got people on the team AFK and shit, you know, weird shit like that. They only give you 67 lives, like weird shit like that, where they're deliberately like fucking with the game, bro. Can't stand that shit, bro. They've been doing that from the very beginning, bro, trying to like cater to people and shit instead of letting the game be free, bro. It's none of your business how people play the game. It's none of your business how people decide they want to maneuver inside of the game. You know what I mean? Everybody gets to play the game the way they want to play it, bro. It's none of your business.
Or diesel. That's kind of an old school car that they can physically control. And I will maintain that. So even though I'm not a fan of what's happening, you know, obviously in the Middle East and all the refineries are burning up, diesel scarcity is going to become a very real issue. So I want to be able to charge my vehicle from sunlight using my own solar panels, not using the power. But I also want to have and I think that's the smart play.
Guys, all those who can hear this, get out of the city if you can in the scenario that's coming. The cities will be the least survivable locations. I think that's greater. I myself now I'm going to relocate. You know, even just here in the next few months, just out of a safety perspective.
We not get Bravo. They took Bravo back.
Centers, at least not in the middle of it.
Oh my God.
Thoughts on that?
Yeah, because I mean you're exactly right. And
then they got you spawning all the way back here, bro. Weird shit, bro. Fucking lame shit, bro. They do this lame shit, dog, on all these maps, bro. They're trying to like control the balance. There's no balance to war, bro. You can't balance war. That's not how this shit works, bro. Like you let everybody just let them have at it, dog. Then what happens is you got these damn white boys, all they do is start complaining and shit. Kill me this way. I need to kill me that way. You can't play it. Shut the fuck up. You died. Respawn. Like, you know, and then that shit keeps trickling to the game developers, and then they fucking start fucking up the game because they're trying to like cater to everybody. You can't cater to everybody, bro. That's it, bro. And most of the people who are bitching and moaning about the balance issues are people who weren't going to get any kills anyway. Like, what the fuck are you balancing for? Dumbass white boys in these damn games, bro.
And the only way to do that is to get out of the cities. I mean, even, like I just mentioned, storing 500 gallons of diesel. To a lot of people, that seems like a
That's how you do it, boy. That's how you do it. That's how you work them edges. Bravo secured single-handedly by the alpha leader. By alpha leader himself. If you can't do it something right, you're doing it now. Moving on into fucking alpha, bro.
Of course they have 500 gallons of diesel. Who wouldn't? You know, it's an agricultural center here, right? So that's my advice, is to go where you fit in by being prepared and being more self-reliant. And that's...
Yeah, I waited too long. I should have started shooting at him from the jump. Trying to be sneaky. Look, he got an M16 too. Now everybody running M16s and shit. I started this shit. Fucking sniper on the roof and shit. Motherfucker, hold that.
Resources dwindle as jobs fall off, as just the economy craters. And that's the reality when we talk about this is why we're okay. The pro-war people or people that are pro-war pretend to be anti-war, say, oh, Navy so much justifiable. Trust in the system, trust the plan, trust in Trump. That doesn't work out sometimes because we've already seen economic fallout.
That's how you do it, boy. That's how you go back playing a ball. Money, boom, boom, down. Now you not gonna get it. Slow the lines.
To go to work, to go to the grocery store.
Oh, you lucky I died right there, bro. I'd have fucking went to work.
Modern life is these internal combustion engines.
You got, look at this shit. You got motherfuckers all in the back of the map. What are these three chumps? You know what I mean? I bet you it's those dumb gay ass sniper niggas. Everybody want to be some damn motherfucking sniper. That's not even how you fucking snipe in real life.
Right now, and you could say, oh, well, it's only 10% off. The thing that got blown up in the Caspian Sea, that's only 2%. It's a global world energy war that's going to result in a domestic crisis here at home. We have tons of the sweet crude. We got tons of it. We can make the gasoline and whatnot. To make the diesel, a decision has to be made. Larry Johnson talks about this. We either have to make it for the fighter jets and for the aviation, or we have to make it, you know, for the trucks to go to the grocery store. What's your thought on that whole juxtaposition?
Yeah, well, again, World War E, where E stands for either energy or Epstein, depending on what topic you're focused on, right? But it's a world war over energy. And see, let me back up to the first day of the Joe Biden administration. One of the very first executive orders that he signed was the shutting down of the major pipeline. And the energy pipeline, I forgot the name of it.
Oh man, I fucking did all that work, bro, and now we're gonna lose still, bro. You niggas couldn't fucking go plant the bomb and hold down the position. Oh my god, this guy can't even drive. He doesn't be able to learn his permit. Fucking clown wasn't able to learn his.
So that was devastating what Biden did, and also limiting drilling off the coast and so on, limiting energy exploration. That really crippled America. And one of the reasons why China is actually leading in AI technology today, or AI
That fucking M16 doesn't have a scope on it. I can't see for shit.
Electricity, because they spent decades building out their energy infrastructure, while the U.S. was following climate cultists, just woke idiocy to the point of shutting.
There you go, plant the bomb and now hold it. Watch it. Take position and look and hold it. Oh my god. And don't nobody move up to fucking help y'all. That shit crazy, bro. And now they gonna fucking defuse that jump. Come on, baby. Boom, boom, boom. There we go. Come on. Let's go to work.
That rate I mentioned is the consumer rate, the end consumer.
Then the shit just got real.
Mistake.
And shit just got real.
Starting this war with Iran. So that was just as devastating as Joe Biden's mistake of shutting down the Keystone Pipeline. Trump's mistake is that he didn't have to. Like, the Strait of Hormuz was open, everything was working, flowing. February, what was it, 28th, 29th of this year. And then Trump starts the war. And then now, looking at the results, now we have a global energy shock that is making its way across the world. And it's going to end.
He would have died right there.
We haven't felt the big repercussions yet because it's a very long delay time. There's a long latency in the pipeline. Food, fertilizer.
Ow, sniper somewhere. Oh, he inside the building.
Magical. Like, you can't just create molecules of diesel out of nothing. You actually have to get the oil. You actually have to refine it. You actually have to have the physical stuff, right? Or your and that's where we are headed. We're going to have scarcity. We might have diesel rationing. And if there's rationing, the military is going to get first dibs on the jet fuel, kerosene, and the diesel. And then everybody else is just going to have to make do. Good luck.
Absolutely. One thing I always point back to, that this is what we're talking about now, this is modern talking a long time ago. You can go watch videos of the Germans demolishing nuclear power plants and just smiling, just absolutely, and just glee, high-fiving each other. And it's just like, well, there's a destruction of manufacturing engine in the heart of Europe. Bye-bye, it's gone. And then you look at the Nord Stream situation, we say Ukrainian terrorists did it. Well, who funds Ukrainian terrorists? That would be probably the CIA. So it's pretty much on record that pipeline was blown up, so they had to buy oil 3 times the price of us. And you look at that scenario, combine it with nuclear power and getting rid of that, Europe is completely bankrupt. America, we have some natural resources, we have the oil, we have certain things. We're not in as bad of a spot. What do you see for Europe right now? Because they got Iran, they got Russia, they got China, and they got all these wars they're trying to fund and fight. What's your opinion just on the EU situation?
Well, the EU is completely screwed.
absolutely clear about that. I'm not talking about the everyday people in the EU countries or in the UK. The government. I'm talking about the insane leaders.
Hang in there, brother. I'm coming, brother.
That David Icke talks about. They are anti-humanists. They're transhumanists. They're insane.
Securing Bravo. Bravo is secured.
Destroy much of the human population. And one of the ways that they see to achieve that is to shut down empowered Western Europe, empowered industry, especially in Germany, for the last several decades. Germany was the powerhouse, right? In the 80s. That's done. That's gone.
Bottom floor, whoever there's on top of the building, bottom floor.
Western Europe has been planned for a long time. And remember,
What is that? Geisley 14, downstairs, 14.
And they want to escalate it so that they can exterminate the young British men, the young French men, young German men. The leadership wants to exterminate them by sending them off to die in the Russian artillery meat grinder machine, which is the front lines of the war. That's also, it appears to me, that's also where we're headed in the U.S. Because, see, young men in America, like you, Rex, are waking up. They're not buying the BS anymore. They don't buy the PSYOPs anymore. We have decentralization of knowledge and information because of the success of channels like yours and what we're on right now, InfoWars in general, and Alex's work over all the years. The younger generation isn't buying it. And so the people in charge really, literally want to kill them all by sending them off to die in the woods. They need to start the war, they need to provoke the war, they need to tear up all the agreements, follow the MOU. We violated it in 20 different ways. It claims Iran wants to negotiate, I don't know,
Grenade.
or something. The truth is,
Grenade.
pattern of making the war larger, and larger.
Grenade in that building, all tactical units, disperse grenade.
And one of the reasons, one of the purposes is to exterminate young men in Western civilization.
Absolutely, and this is why I get so angry about people that lie and say this isn't a war. How dare you? How can you say so? How can you start a fight? How can you punch you in the face and not expect you to punch you back? That's what it is like on day one. Let me mention. So the people that say that's not an actual war, people say, "Oh, you're crazy. You're not going to get drafted. There's just a limited strike, limited engagement." This expands day by day by day by day. It's over 150 days. All right, we just lost 4 more soldiers that Trump now claims we didn't lose in the war. I mean, this is the level of like absurd cognitive dissonance that our leadership has about it. And I have to think like they're not fools. They're not lying. Like maybe they're lying to themselves. They know what they're doing. They want to kill off that generation of young men and women. By the way, they want to get both genders involved in this. It's a liberal, as my dad would say, right? They want to send us off to fight and die in Iran. So hey, Abdul and Mohammed and Ganesh can be the new Americans, the new British people, the new German people. That's the reality.
Well, that's exactly what's happening. Western Europe will be completely taken over by followers of Islam. There's no question about it. I mean, they're just burning all the churches.
Happened before, didn't it?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, 732 AD.
That's how this whole thing works. But what Trump is trying to do is tell us, always tells us that this is going to be a short war. We were told initially this is going to be 2 to 3 weeks in Iran. And of course now we're 5 months in plus, and it's going to continue to grow. And you just saw the attacks yesterday on the Saudi Arabian refinery, right?
Aramco.
And the pipeline, the east-west pipeline, and going to Yanbu, the port there on the Red Sea. That is also absolutely deliberate to continue to escalate the supply shock. I think that's taking something like 7 million barrels of oil per day off of the global marketplace. That's going to affect us in a huge way later this year. Because remember, the U.S. imports 6.5 million barrels per day of the heavy crude oil, exactly the kind of oil that's produced in both Iran and Saudi Arabia.
We need it.
In Russia.
We need it. We're not getting it. We got to find it again. Thank you, Mike Adams. I'll see you in the next segment. Stay with us.
Okay. All right.
Patriots, the first thing the globalists and the leftists do, they want to silence you, is go after your conversion accounts. Go after your business payments. Either receive money or make payments.
Give me grenades. Throw grenades on Alpha.
It's globalist economic warfare. It's a globalist sanctions against American populist patriots.
Man, where the squadron at? You got niggas on the other side of the fucking map. Nowhere near where they supposed to be, bro. Make a fucking gun.
The news articles, the demonization, the bogus default judgments. We even have
Fucking camping trying to be motherfucking snipers or some fucking shit, bro. What the fuck is wrong with these motherfuckers?
the knees by knocking out my ability to accept payments. And that model they used on me, they admit it's for all of you.
Pretty much.
Well, because of First United Payments and your support, they failed. And they failed because I had a processor with a backbone who loves America and believes in the free market. One who stands up for American justice and moves back down when they receive threatening messages and pressure from other countries. If you are a conservative business, Facebook is watching you. Amazon, all of the major big tech is watching you. If you think for 1 second that they are not coordinating, watch my six.
Good save, brethren. Good save. Man, that's game, bro. GG. Fucking noobs.
The question is not if.
The noobs on our team, bro. Throwing the game, man. We fucking got the top squad. Fucking putting in work for our goddamn country. Fucking love good men on this battlefield.
That isn't part of their system, even people that aren't political. This is about total control. They just got to get to the patriots that are opposing them to get to you. And FirstUnitedPayments.com stands directly in the tyrant's way. My fellow Americans, this is your call to action. Call or email First United Payments now and ask them how you can protect your business against the globalist predatory attacks and shutdowns today. Visit First United Payments now at FirstUnitedPayments.com and talk to a real human here in the good old U.S. of A. by calling toll-free 877-899-1313. That's 877-899-1313. The tyrants are counting on us not to innovate. They're counting on us not to migrate to institutions and organizations that are pro-human just like us. This isn't some new company. I've been using them for almost a decade. They're already taking care of most of the payments. Whether you're a florist, have a gas station, or you're a farmer, or you've got a little five and dime shop or a factory, whatever it is, online merchants, this is the place for you. These guys are patriots and they're in our corner. They're Americans just like us, and they hate the New World Order with a passion. They believe in the free market, and they understand this is 1776 2.0. 90% of it is information warfare and financial, and this is just as important as the right to self-defense and guns. You've got to be able to have your own business. You've got to be able to operate without these globalist sharks, this mafia shutting you down. And First United Payments is the tip of the spear. Proven warriors, ladies and gentlemen, in this fight. Thank you so much. Now visit FirstUnitedPayments.com right now.
Days, weeks, and even years ahead of the news cycle. AlexJonesLive.com is tomorrow's news today.
Discover trends and global developments years before they happen, right here on The Alex Jones Show.
Welcome back to your third hour with Mike Adams. We got a lot more to cover, a lot more to get into. I want to play clip number 13. This is Tim Dillon kind of eulogizing our society. Go ahead and play it.
And people get mad at me. What are you saying? There's no deep state? No, dummy. But if the deep state can never be affected or impacted or changed, then why even elect this guy? Why did you all get excited and wear the dumb hats, dummies? Why did you care so much about this guy and his election if this deep state, if you were just going to blame everything on the deep state, then what the hell was the point? Why did you go to the rallies? Were you just trying to go to a concert? And that's really what it was? Did you just like the merch? Why did you care so much about this guy? Why isn't he investigating his own assassination attempt? Let's talk about the deep state for a minute, by the way. Why don't we know anything about the guy that assassinated him? Okay? Or tried to. Sorry, attempted. I'm not saying there's no I'm not saying there's not some permanent government apparatus. I've talked about it a million times on the show. I get it. But for the people that ran on upending the deep state to then come in and blame things on the deep state, seems like you have to be an idiot for that to work. Why were you excited for this guy to win? Why did anyone think it would be interesting for this guy to win if he was just going to do all the things that this deep state wants him to do? What is he doing that they don't like, by the way? Maybe some tariffs that'll just expire the minute he's out of office? He's in Iran. He kidnapped Maduro. Flock cameras are everywhere. The attack people are getting all the money. So who is this deep state again? Who are these people that are really upset and up in arms with him? Who are they? I don't know who they are. He seems to be... What would they want him to do that he's not doing? He seems to be pretty lockstep with all of these people. Surveillance technology is everywhere. The pace at which unregulated AI is going to grow and become a real problem is harrowing. We're about to commit troops to a war with a country and we'll probably lose. That's the other thing. Unless we put 1 million people in there and hold their government free, and then what'll winning look like? It'll just be tallies of dead people. It's going to be a nightmare. It won't feel like winning. It'll feel like losing, and it'll probably be actually losing too, because there's not much you can do in that country. But again, we're on the brink of that. We're on the brink of that. So again, I'm asking all the smart people, and I'm excluding the paid hack MAGA people that are getting paid by this. That's great. He unwound DEI. Ta-da. Great. I'm all for that.
This is where I'm at. This is where I'm at, because everyone that's, I guess, on the right or whatever, because I don't even believe in that right anymore. I don't believe in the duopoly. I think that you either serve the authority or you serve the truth. All these people are trying to compromise and say, hey, man, we're still getting a lot of what we needed, a lot of what we wanted to get done. I voted for the peace president. I voted for the guy that promised to, end things like this, end globalism. What do you think of what Tim just said there?
Well, I think Tim nailed it, and I love his presentation style.
Me too.
And he's expressing the outrage that many of us feel and the betrayal that many people feel. And, I did not vote for Trump this third time. I voted for him twice before, but not this time, because I sensed that he had done too many deals with too many parties, such as, for example, the military-industrial complex, and also big tech, etc. And so I specifically did not vote for him. But then I also realized I was in Texas, and Texas was going to go pro-Trump anyway. But let me share something that's related to what Tim just said there that I think is a much bigger and much more critical picture. Trump needs a nuclear war in order to deliver the second half of a major binary weapon system that began with Trump approving the COVID vaccines. So the COVID vaccines, they hijack your body's cells to produce spike protein toxins. And these spike protein toxins then are circulating throughout your body. And in the presence of spike protein toxins, your body's normal DNA repair mechanisms are suppressed by 85 to 90%. So from a technical standpoint, those are called NHEJ, non-homologous end joining. That repairs double-strand breaks, which is a total break of your chromosomes. And there's another one called HR, which is homologous recombination. These are suppressed, again, up to 90% by the presence of the spike protein. Now, stay with me here, Rex, because this is a huge deal. Normally, your body is repairing literally billions of errors every single day in your chromosome because, your cells are dividing, and so your genetic material is it's unraveling and then it's replicating through DNA polymerase enzymes. It's creating copies. Copies sometimes have errors. The errors are repaired. Some errors are introduced by background radiation, ionizing radiation from sunlight, from high-altitude air travel, from dental x-rays, chest x-rays, whatever. Chemical exposure, also toxic chemicals.
If you then have a nuclear war and you have radioisotope fallout, where background levels of ionizing radiation are substantially increased all around the world, then all of those people who took the vaccine will be unable to repair their DNA to keep up with the levels of double-strand breaks from the ionizing radiation. So the vaccine was the first part of a binary weapon system that suppressed DNA repair, which is why we're getting accelerated aging, turbo cancers, and immune system failure in those people. Billions of people are suffering effects of vaccines all over the world. You start a nuclear war, it's the kill switch. It's the kill switch that causes people's DNA to lose all integrity. And then you die from the inside. You die at the cellular level. Your organs fall apart from the inside. And it doesn't look like the globalists exterminated billions of humans.
Okay, so this is key. This is absolutely key. The overpopulation thing that we're constantly sold. As populations become richer and more developed, people eventually stop having kids or they have less children. So the population growth, that whole narrative, oh, we're not going to be able to feed the planet. It's actually population collapse that we have to be worried about. Think about being old and having no one there to repair the roads, be an electrician, be a plumber, be your doctor, be your friend. Imagine a world that's empty. That's the world that they're creating because they believe in their robot, AI, transhumanist, brain node interface system that they'll build, that they won't need it. But in that world, they also won't need you. And this is what's key for everyone in the audience to understand. Mike, I know you have a ton of experience when it comes to...
10-4, copy that, good buddy. On the move.
What do they say about what they want to do to the human population?
Well, in my view, in my understanding of what they want, and there are different factions, by the way. It's not one just unified group, but they all see humanity as a threat to their power. This is why when we talk about they want to start wars, because they want to send young men off to die. But they see humanity as a whole as a threat to their power. So they want to replace humans with robots, so that the robots, carry out the labor to keep the remaining elite humans living in relative wealth, plenty of food, plenty of land, etc. But robots will be given the right to vote. And that will happen, and by the way, we've already seen, I think there's one town, I forgot where it is in the U.S., that gave the right to vote to corporations or non-human entities, legal entities, who were given the right to vote in local elections. This is going to expand to where robots will be said to have consciousness, and that's going to be a very interesting philosophical argument. You and I talked about consciousness last week on the War Room. But once it is established, and this is exactly where this is going, they're going to say that AI has consciousness, and that then robots that are embodied with AI are themselves conscious beings, therefore they should have the right to vote. Once that law goes in where robots have the right to vote, they don't need any humans at all, because the robots will replace the labor, but most importantly the voting. And then they can, of course, build in all the back doors to have the robots vote to keep the people in power, okay? And then humans will be killed off through famine and war and the radiation binary weapon that I just mentioned. It'll be genetic. Basically, it's a genetic kill switch is what's been, and Trump is unleashing both of them. That's what's astonishing. He unleashed the original COVID vaccines, emergency use authorization, bragged about it. It's a DoD weapon, laundered through China's Wuhan lab for gain-of-function additions in order to bypass U.S. restrictions of the criminality of bioweapons development. So they just laundered it through China. And then, if we get to a nuclear war, even just a small tactical nuclear weapon will result in these radioisotopes fallout. There will be fallout all over the world. And Rex, one more thing. That term fallout applies to vaccine shedding. I'm calling vaccine shedding vaccine fallout. It's spike protein fallout. If you are around a person who has been vaccinated with these mRNA systems, their bodies are factories that are churning out bioweapon toxins, which are the spike protein that suppress your DNA repair mechanism. That's vaccine fallout. And then we can have nuclear war fallout. Together, it's the end of anyone who doesn't know how to repair their DNA, who doesn't know how to protect themselves. And I'm actually, the reason I know so much about this is because I'm producing a free seminar about this very topic. And the good news, Rex, and this has to do with what your company there and what you offer, is that nutrition is the answer. So it's amazing. Like the body knows how to repair itself, but that knowledge is censored and suppressed.
Right.
To make people vulnerable to this.
Right, and they want to make people into this Roundup Ready corn. I talked to Kriston Harris about this, also a host on the network, where you essentially have a designer, genetically modified baby. And hey, here's the thing. Hey, it's the year's 2040. Your kid can't see all the screens, the special screens on the wall, because they don't have the eye implant that pairs with their genetic thing to do whatever. The future, like, it's cyberpunk. It's 2077. The future is now. What do you think about that?
Yeah, well, that's for the surviving elite. They want to become transhumanists.
Everyone else is dead.
But everyone else is dead. That's their plan. Clearly, that's their plan. Now, the good news in this is that it's not very difficult to become hard to kill. This is a key message that I've been talking about for years. It's pretty easy to be hard to kill. One of those is to get out of the kill zones, which is the cities.
Right.
The other one is to become a lot more self-reliant. The other one is to be incredibly well-informed, so you see the early signs of what's happening. So if you are entirely dependent on the system for food, for water, for healthcare, for everything, for money, then you are absolutely under their control and you will not survive. As I think Michael Yan was on with you or with Alex the other day, saying, or maybe it was with Harrison, saying this very thing. Like, big boy rules apply right now. If you don't know what's going on, you're going to die, and your family will die. But it's not that difficult to actually be hard to kill. All you have to do is follow basic preparedness, decentralization, maybe a physical location change. Certainly get out of the blue cities in the blue states. You don't want to be anywhere near, Los Angeles or Chicago or Denver when this goes down.
Hold on.
Right?
They made a movie about that. It's called Escape from New York, Escape from L.A. Literally, it was predicted in the annals of time. We knew this was going to happen. I want to go to this clip 14. Man is removed after clapping during public comment at a Kansas data center zoning meeting, because it's very Warhammer 40K, the worship of the technology. How, we must have the technology, put the technology in front of ourselves. Eventually, you're going to have a system where, kind of like 1984, it's kind of a blend between 1984 and Brave New World. I know we say, like, we're going to have the elites and they'll have access to the technology and they'll survive. I do believe there's going to be a permanent slave class. I think they want that. They'll have fun with that. It'd be like, you get to go purge them whenever you want, rape them whenever you want, experiment on them whenever you want.
Organ harvesting.
Exactly. Just like in China. Let's play clip number 14.
I've been not smooth on, so come on, drag me out. Come on, drag me out. Come on, do it.
No, Jay.
I'm just asking.
Patriot.
Come on.
Hero.
Get on your feet. Get on your feet, dude.
It's not okay.
Those are pigs grabbing you.
Clear at the beginning that each person is given their 2 minutes, and we're trying to be respectful of that. Snapping, clapping, any other rude comments or anything, we will ask you to leave.
Pause it.
You've been fine.
That's Hitler right there. Leave that up. That's the road to hell right there. It's a lady like that passes laws that make sure you'll never have a future. Truly disgusting how, it's my dad's socks. Oh, I wear the fluffy socks. You can trust me. I have different colored socks. I have a polka dot shirt. Ooh, look at me. And she's literally plotting, actively implementing your own destruction just because she doesn't care. That's the craziest part. What do you think?
Well, let me turn this on its head, because the silver lining in this is that most of those local tyrants have no idea what's coming, and they will not be prepared.
Yes.
And they won't make it. So it's pretty easy to outlive the local tyrants. So there's some good news for you today.
Sure.
It's really not that difficult, and those people will become, so desperate, and they'll be begging you for food and help, and hey, we want to be good Christian people. We want to help as many as we can. I already have plans to donate a large amount of food and supplies to local churches. But if somebody comes to my home who I know was a local tyrant, I'm not going to hurt them. I'm not going to lecture them. I'm going to say, I don't have anything for you. Go to the church, because that's where my donations are, and I hope you learn something. about all this because it's people like you that caused this situation.
Right.
So hope you live through it.
Yeah, and
that's the best I can do.
100%. I was rewatching my dad's old documentaries, and I think it's in Police State too. He says ignorance is the greatest weapon, because if you don't know what you're doing, they can use you to do anything. It's even more so a person's pure evil, because they'll have their own self-interest, right? Somebody that's purely ignorant can be led into doing whatever you want them to do, and they think they're doing a good thing as long as you pat them on the back and tell them, good boy or good girl, whatever scenario. It really is wild.
Yeah. And the breakdown period of society is going to be very violent. And there was a video that went viral, I think yesterday or the day before, of those young African American boys coming out of their cars, shooting their guns without ever using any of the sights.
Can we find that? It's Matt Bracken. It's
wild.
Matt Bracken. Dad retweeted it. It's kind of like a crazy YN clip, I guess would be the colloquial term.
Yeah, it was a YN youth clip or whatever that was. And what's interesting about that clip is that, you depending on where you live, you will be assaulted by a large number of different groups of different ethnicities who are starving and desperate.
And high tech.
And most of them... What's that?
High tech as well. They'll have satellite surveillance. They'll have vehicles.
Oh, yeah.
That's the key. Go ahead.
But the interesting part is that just like that video shows, most people don't know how to deploy firearms accurately or in any really effective way. For example, the combat effectiveness of those young men in that video is near zero. Like any trained U.S. Marine would just pick them off in a second, right? Or any individual trained in rifle use and using red dot sights appropriately or whatever, 3X optics, would just take them out in seconds. But there's going to be a very large number of extremely desperate, hungry people, and there's a whole quality to the being overwhelmed by just rapid firepower. There you go. I think his accuracy would improve if he pulled his pants down more. If the pants are around your ankles, I hear that your accuracy goes up.
That's true.
But I mean, look at the posture. Like none of them have gone to any kind of firearms training. This guy's got the.
That was the best one we've seen. That's the best one.
That was the best. Yeah, right. Maybe he's had a little bit of training. The rest of these people have no idea. Like, you can't hit anything shooting from the hip. Come on.
Right, but you got 10 right? You got 10 guys, 100 guys running at you. It's like warlord stuff, mob rule, and that's the future we're talking about is Mad Max. A Mad Max scenario of choice that we were put in. This is an illegal war of aggression. Go ahead.
Right, but remember, when there's a diesel shortage, then the radius of the Mad Max effect will be quite limited. So they can only drive so far out because fuel's hard to get. Like, this becomes Mad Max. This becomes Escape from New York. Or they have to get there through some other means other than a combustion engine, walking or bicycles for that, or motorcycles will become even more popular because they have extended range. So, but the farther away you are from these Mad Max zones, that is going to be the blue cities, the better off you're going to be, and the less likely you will have to deploy firearms in self-defense. Because
that's the sad part why people don't understand. That situation is going to be what's going to make them come after you, silly goose.
Assaulting my ranch.
You silly little goose.
Absolutely. But do I want to? Oh, no, absolutely not.
See, they so busy trying to be racist and shit, they don't understand that the system is coming for you. They're not coming for poor, dumb black people in the ghetto. It's coming for your whites. I mean,
chimpanzees. He gives chimpanzee a cake on its birthday. Doesn't give the other ones.
Let's see, white people are so stuck being racist they can't see it.
My dad talks about it all the time. You start spending over 60% of your money on fuel and food, you go to war. That's just
they think that preparedness shit is going to help them.
And what will happen is that the desperate gangs, they will very quickly ramp up their level of violence. And then the civilized, polite society people will lag behind that dramatically. They won't ramp up their response, their self-defense use of kinetic weapons in a rapid enough fashion in order to meet the escalated violence that's coming at them. So, for example, most Americans are good people. And if someone comes to your door, let's say a young mother with a child, they look impoverished. They look like they're hungry and they knock on the door. can you give us some food? Yeah, because what's actually happening is there's a man 400 yards away with a rifle scope that's going to put a round through your head, like a 308 round or whatever, and they're just going to take everything in your house. And most Americans do not anticipate that because they're good people. They wouldn't do that to somebody else. So they won't realize that that's what's coming. And, you know, there's going to be all kinds of traps on the road, like, oh, it's an injured person, it's a car accident. No, it's a trap. If you stop, you're dead. Your whole family's dead. You're all going to be looted. You're done. Okay? So that's the problem. And, you know, I've trained with Special Forces. I've trained with Navy SEALs. I've, you know, over the years, I've done extensive training, scenario training, hostage rescue, tubular assault training, whatever. And the one thing I learned from all the specialists that I trained with is that the person who's late to ramp up the use of your tools is the one who dies. So you have to have a mindset of being willing to protect the innocent and being willing to use a rifle or whatever tools you have on your own property in self-defense, but to deploy them rapidly as chaos takes place. And that's the only way you're going to survive this. And by the way, your local law enforcement, they probably don't have enough ammo. They probably don't have enough body armor. I know this because I've worked with a lot of local law enforcement over the years as to helping them get some of this equipment. I'm talking about sheriffs, constitutional sheriffs, by the way, not like city police who are all, you know, woke idiots, but constitutional sheriffs and sheriff's deputies. They are not equipped. They don't have the ammo to fight off.
People are so silly. They just don't get it. That's why that shit gonna fall. That drop will be hard for them. They didn't even get it. They still keep thinking they can pick and choose a side. You don't get to pick and choose, brother.
50 rounds a month.
You don't get to pick and choose.
That's like we warm up with that to make sure, you know, the targets are working. You know, that's not right. 50 rounds. We're just getting started here. So that's the reality. You better be ready for what's coming.
100%, and that's a very important message. Become combat effective, take courses, train with firearms, get acquainted with both handguns, rifles, and other things as well. Learn how to drive a motorcycle, even if you don't want to. I hate motorcycles, but I do know how to drive one. Learn how to operate heavy machinery. You're going to know how to use a diesel tractor, all sorts of stuff like that, because we're going to be in a world where we have a lot less options. And when we're in that
there will be no
world,
options, not less options. There will be no options, you silly goose.
for 30 years. It's people that slept
that arrogance of white people, bro. They really think that they can actually fight back Armageddon.
Well, and last comment on that, you probably don't need more ammo. What you need is
they gonna be able to compare Armageddon. You silly goose. This isn't a movie.
More muscle memory in deploying.
This isn't a escape from New York. You silly goose. That's a movie.
And always follow the 4 rules of firearm safety, etc.
You silly goose.
So I'm not advocating initiating violence, but rather halting violence.
Somebody you not initiating violence. That's exactly what you're saying. Saying you're gonna kill people if they come on your house and ask you for food.
brightvideos.com and my AI engine that is the AI engine is brightanswers.ai.
Beautiful. I'm going to be using that later today. Thank you, Mike Adams. Always a pleasure. I'll have you back on soon. Really appreciate watching you over the years. You've been a big influence on me and my broadcasting 100%. So thank you for your time.
Thank you, Rex. God bless you. Take care.
God bless you too. We'll be right back with more news and breaking information. I want to do kind of a Sam Altman deep dive. I want to look at him. We want to cover the war, of course, more because I haven't really gotten to that today. I do think I'm going to take your calls. So looking forward to that in the next segment. Thank you all so much. If you want to find me, I'm Rex Jones News with a Z on X. I'm also Rex Jones News with a Z on Instagram. I'm Gray Area Talks and New American Journal. I got my whole network. I do a morning show, 8 a.m.
Damn, nobody fucking is fucking. They're all AFKing.
I'm live for you every single day, sometimes multiple times a day during the week. Follow me. Come on. I'm your guy. I'm your boy. I'm your homie. I'll see you after this break.
There's a lot of noise right now.
Taking me off the air. It is beyond essential that you continue to spread the word about the broadcast, continue to support us.
That's usually when it matters most, to have people in your corner who don't flinch. We've been a partner of this program and of Alex's for a long time.
I'm handing out ice water in the Sahara. I mean, it is such the top-rated, the biggest company, because they're the best, and he's a patriot.
We're not going anywhere, and that commitment runs to you. Here's the part that matters. With us, it's 8% when you buy and 0% when you sell. And here's something else. After you make your first purchase and become a client, If you're holding metals you bought somewhere else, bring them to us. We'll help you liquidate them. No commission. That means even if you didn't originally buy them from us, we'll still take care of you. That's not a promotion. It's not something that's for a limited time only. That's just the way we do business. Give us a call and we'll bend over backwards to help you.
Visit KEPM.com/gold to get started. Or give us a call at 720
He was upstairs. I'm over here.
605
Dumping, mag dumping.
and let us help you make room for what matters most.
Spot price of the metal in the ground. Miners haven't even touched it yet. Then they pull the metal out of the ground, they dig their tunnels, they drive it to the
Then they put you in these dual spawns that deliberately split up the forces. They don't give you enough forces. Like, how many people in the map? Instead of giving you the full 32, they do 24. They're doing 24 and then they're going to split it in half. They have you 12 and 12.
That's unprecedented. It's so easy. KPM.com/gold. Get a free telephone consultation, email. You call 720-605-3900. 720-605-3900.
Days, weeks, and even years ahead of the news cycle. AlexJonesLive.com is tomorrow's news.
How many more of these fucking dumb kills I got? I'm about tired of playing with this plan.
I don't need BB to tell me that. BB's telling me that because he wants me to stay involved. I mean, I don't necessarily. We have the finest because of Space Force. We have the greatest cameras in the world focused on. We know exactly what's going on. But no, I heard BB announce that. I said, why don't you just tell it to me? Why do you have to announce it to the world? I know exactly what's going on at Pickaxe. It's not a big problem. We took out their nuclear sites, and we'll have to take out Pickaxe if we don't make a deal. If we don't make a deal, we'll take it out very easily.
It's been said by military people, you know better, that for the 14 days that you hit him was relatively surgical. It's focused basically around the strait. But to amp it up, you needed more of your material in the region, and it's arrived. Has Admiral Cooper given you the type of plan that you believe will be effective in essentially destroying their nuclear, stopping their funding of proxies, as well as their ballistic program? Have you seen that on paper?
Well, it's already been mostly done. Look, we have a blockade up there right now, and only ships that we want to get through. Iran doesn't control the strait. We control the strait. Now, they can drop a couple of mines in there and screw things up, but we control the strait. Our Navy is incredible. Not one ship has gotten to Iran during any time where we had the blockade. So we had the blockade. Right. We had the confines of a deal. I set the blockade back, but I didn't take it away. The ships were not far
ships
away.
Are not getting through now.
And then I had to bring it back. But no, this is done with the Admiral. He's great. This is all done with the Admiral. He's a great guy. He's General Raisin Kane.
Mr. President, are we right that the no merchant ships are getting through right now? Maybe 3 or 4 a day when you need about 100?
The only ones that get through are the ones that we want to get through. They're the only ships that get through, Brian. We have a blockade that's so powerful that nobody can get through. They tried.
Completely sickening. When I saw this clip this morning, I thought that it was from, a couple months ago, and it ended up on my timeline by mistake. Remember when we had the blockade? That didn't work out. No, it's all over. It's all done. Throw that map up there. It's still up. Show that U.S. blockade line. The Strait of Hormuz, see how far away that is? You know why the U.S. blockade line isn't any closer to the strait? Because if it were any closer, they would hit those ships with anti-ship missiles they've been given by the Chinese. And what Donald Trump says there, the outrageous lie of, they can just drop a few mines and mess it up for everybody. That means there's no insurance that'll insure the vessels. That means no VLCCs. That means very large crude oil carriers will go through. That means it's shut down. And he admits, he says, well, the only ships getting through are the ones that we want to get through. That's not what we need. We need the traffic to return to pre-war conditions, which I believe is 150 vessels a day. So instead of signing the MOU, actually we did sign that. Instead of honoring the MOU, we told ships to turn their transponders off and to go on the route that was unapproved. That was a violation of the document, just like the war in Lebanon, just like refusing to give them back the money that was agreed on. Look at this. Houthis fire on Saudi vessel. More ships make U-turns after MOU revival hype returns. China, meanwhile, negotiating safe tanker passage. Look at that. So anyone that tells you this is over, it's not a war, it's little engagement, it's a detour, it's an excursion. That's the type of language Donald Trump has used. They're lying to you. If you're young, they want to get you drafted. If you're old, they want to take all your money. They want to take the economy away from you. They want your children to starve because, hey, the people that support this war, they're fat, they're rich, they're old, and they're happy. And they got what they need. They lived in prosperity. They bought their house for 90 grand in the 90s. You don't get to have that same opportunity. You get to fight and die in Iran. We're not doing it. I'm a conscientious objector. I will never go fight for Israel. I'll never go die for Israel or Ukraine or in this giant world energy war. It's fake. It's a fraud. They put us in this position. I'm going to be taking your calls after this break. I want to talk to you guys, especially if you're military. Please call in. If you disagree with me, please call in. I want to hear how maybe you think it's not a war yet, still, even after we went over the powerful information with my father, Kyle Seraphin, and Mike Adams. Call that number, 512-266-0642. That's 512-266-0642. I really look forward to hearing from you. Call that number, 512-266-0642. We'll be right back after this break. Please go to thealexjonestore.com. Get yourself some methylene blue. I've got the Power Drive bundle, okay? That's methyl drive and power plant, CoQ10, PPQ, Rhodolia rosea, ashwagandha, zinc, magnesium, boron, selenium. You need it. Take it with methylene blue, thealexjonestore.com.
This shower filter slays 95% of the lead, 99% of the chlorine, and keeps that damn atrazine out of your water. Protect yourself. Don't let them turn you gay. Purify it now. Mother, do you really want to shower with me? Do you want to clean everything? Oh, Mother!
I'm not gay. You are.
Real time.
This is bogus. You fucking shoot somebody, it does no damage. They fucking move while being shot and then kill you. Like, what the fuck? You don't wound them. There should be at least wounding. There should be grievous wounding, meaning you fucking bleed profusely until you fucking goddamn get near a fucking medic pack that'll stop the bleeding, or you'll bleed out. Like, it should be shit like that. So that way they just don't get away with fucking doing absolutely nothing once they get shot.
Jones. So you are watching the Alex Jones Show, and you will always watch it in the future. So happy to be with you here today. I'm going to read out the number one more time to call in. That's
I can hear you once again.
266-0642. Especially if you're military, I do want to hear from you. So do we have callers on the board? Do we have callers? Chopped brisket on the board? Just like Buc-ee's. You go to Buc-ee's and they're always yelling out, chopped brisket on the board. We got callers showing up. Mike in Houston, I want to talk to you. You're on the air. How are you doing?
Yeah, am I speaking to Rex right now?
Yes, you are.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, I thought your screener was still at work. At any rate, I got a bone to pick with your dad. I've been calling him since the earliest days, back in the late 90s. We had to drag him kicking and screaming across the Israeli crossing line. He just never would admit that Israel was set up to be a lightning rod to bring us to this Armageddon point in world history. I don't know if he has Freemasonry in his background.
I don't think that's true. I think that's your assertion. Is he not on video talking about them in 9/11 when it happened? Why do you respond to that, Mr. Kicking and Screaming?
It's always, if somebody, if I watch someone kill, a loved one in front of me, I said, well, yeah, it was definitely Joe, but you have to consider Fred and his cousin and 15 other people. This is the way he constantly distracts and diverts.
I disagree. I think it's called wide spectrum analysis.
You can disagree, but you'd be wrong like your old man. I'm sorry.
All right, hold on. Where's your 30-year live show where you reveal the truth to everyone and you know everything? How many people have you informed?
as many as I could. I was working for much of that time. I was studying when I could. I read many of the same books as Alex. I just came to somewhat different conclusions, apparently. The Birch Society background will lead you away from Israel. That's the one thing you bring up, and that's untouchable. They will just cut you off immediately. I'm sorry.
All right, well, hold on. All right, Unc. Let me come in here. Do you not see me on the network literally all the time talking about all this stuff? And if he's
You
really
getting defensive. You getting defensive. Somebody talking about your daddy. You're just supposed to be like, cool, I understand. What else you got to say? You don't get defensive. You sound like a little bitch.
Yeah, the Black Pope and all that. Yeah, of course. Go ahead.
These are the foot soldiers of Kabbalistic Judaism, which is where Judaism is today. It's not. Judaism is not some proto-Christian. We're not Judeo-Christians. That's an oxymoron. The Judaic.
We agree. We agree with that.
Absolutely nothing to do with Christianity of any sort. I've met a lot of benign and healthy thinking Jews over my career. I was a working physician. I had to deal with them in the OR. Some were malignant. Some were just ordinary folks who led very secular lives. All types, just like Christians for the most part. But there is a subset out there, and I pointed this out to Alex weeks ago. Chabad Lubavitch. It's in a book called Illuminati 4, and I pointed out precisely what Henry Makow, the author, explained, is that these people have in mind getting a nuclear war during a definite time window, a 1-year window between Rosh Hashanah, which is coming up September 11th of this year, to Rosh Hashanah of 27th. That 1 year, they want to clear as many Gentiles off the face of the earth to welcome back to welcome in the Messiah that they've been yearning for thousands of years, the one who will smite Gentiles right and left, and a bloodthirsty Messiah of the sort that they didn't recognize in Jesus.
Right, because Jesus came in on the donkey with the palm branch instead of with the sword like they expected. Thank you for the call. Really appreciate that. Let's go ahead and get to Lander in South Dakota. Lander, you're on the air.
Hey, Rex. Thanks for taking my call. Well, since you had Mike Adams on earlier, I thought I would mention a sort of seedling sprouting platform, the books.brightlearn.ai engine, which is developed by Mike Adams. It's something I've used a little bit as an interesting research tool, and anyone can go to that website, use AI agents to create their own research books. It's all royalty-free. It's all free to download. For instance, if you were to go and type in the Far East Crucible, you would find a 20th century history of my notes on East Asia that really starts with President Grant telling the Emperor of Japan not to take Western debt. It goes through World War II, goes through the Korean War and Vietnam War. But ultimately, all of these events are really just the pattern of American politics played out in the Far East of East Asia. Just an example there. I don't want to go too much into that topic. But
no, really quick though.
AI platform,
really quick. That's a powerful
platform.
That's a powerful resource. People need to know about that. Read that out again. The URL for that, really quick.
That's book.brightlearn.ai. And if you're a homeschooler, you can have your children go and download books, edit them, revise them, teach people that AI is not an authority. It's a research assistant for us to, check up on and use to our fullest potential, really.
Right. The problem is the people that have the power, they want to own these tools and manipulate them. That's why it's so important to support people like Mike Adams, who does incredible projects like that. So you're somebody, you're very deep into history, Middle East history, stuff like that. What's your exegesis approximation of the situation we're in right now with this war?
I'm absolutely horrified by it, frankly. It's just such a strategic blunder from the beginning. You know, it's like if you have a child who plays real-time strategy games, they would know not to make these blunders. It's just heinous the way they've gone into the Strait of Hormuz like this with no concept that, you know, we're in the 21st century now. Warfare is not what it used to be. And if we have any ground troops land, they're going to have thousands of Shaheds coming in, blowing them up, and never even see what hit them.
Right. And it seems to be that it's all pretext for that mass draft, for that World War III. Like, we're like less than a year away from that in my approximation. And I've had a number of people on the Quartering Andrew Wilson that have pretended this isn't a war, that want to bury their head in the sand like an ostrich or whatever. Hell is coming. Hell is already here. It's already on the way. What is your approximation? What would you say as just a history buff, looking back at past history, past wars that we've fought? Like, look at Vietnam as an example. Remember, that started off as not a war too. What do you think about that?
Right. Well, okay, let me go back to BrightLearn for a second, because if you were to type into BrightLearn, Pentagon's laboratory, you'd see a research book that I wrote that says the Vietnam War was the deep state's early experiment in endless warfare. That's where they deployed a lot of these systems for the first time and figured out how to do endless warfare that we've been in for 20 years. But now we're at the capstone. We are at the end of the Project for a New American Century plan with Iran. And so this really isn't, the end isn't the same as the middle of a story.
Right. No, 100%. I agree. Phenomenal call. Thank you so much, man. Thank you. All right, let's go to Jay in Illinois. Jay, you're on the air.
Hi, Rick. A couple quick things. First of all, I want to say you really come into your own. There was a time when I had a hard time listening to you, not because you weren't knowledgeable, but you were just so different from your dad. And you're similar too, but I actually enjoy listening to you now. I'm not much on your tandem thing with your friend. I'd rather just hear what you have to say. But then the other thing I want to get to is this whole thing about conscientious objector. Make sure you do some research on it, because you have to be opposed to all war. And I think you kind of strike the guy who, if it came to defending America, that would be a war that you would not oppose. So I hope you look into it.
Sure, but the whole thing is like, I hear this a lot from people. It's like, oh, well, just say you're pro-peace. Don't say you're anti-war. The language and the tone policing, here's my thing. Over the past 80 years, these have been the only types of wars that we fight. We don't fight wars to protect ourselves. I'll go back to Otto von Bismarck. We have weak neighbors to our north and south, and we have fish to our east and west. So why the hell do I have to worry about going to war in a nation that has nuclear weapons? That's my. It's all fake. That's what I have to say. That's why I use such strong language. And of course, I would defend the United States of America. When it comes to foreign conflicts, I believe in what George Washington said: no foreign entanglements.
So do I.
Sure.
But again, do look carefully, because if it's a wartime draft, you're going to be called before a board. You're going to have to explain yourself. And you have to be in opposition to all war.
Yeah, I'm probably going to bounce, to be honest with you. I don't plan on being slaughtered for Israel. I think that's a crime they're doing against me. I think in the future, the government wants the young people, if we have a society, if we have a world, once we take it over, I think there's going to be some serious reforms. I think we'll see people executed for this. I'll work my entire life for it.
We need serious reforms. I'm very much a constitutionalist, and that's why your dad and yourself, your thoughts and opinions and everything are very important to me, because
Sure. Thank you for your call. Really appreciate that. Jay in Illinois. Let me go to Craig in Ohio. Craig in Ohio, you're on the air.
A couple quick things. One, I agree with the no foreign entanglements, but that was also when the world was much larger, right? The world's much smaller now. Okay, so just keep that in mind. The other thing is, when Mike Adams was talking about, all the stuff he was talking about before, like, I like Mike Adams. He's done a lot of great work. He's a very smart guy, but he totally bought into the Q stuff before hook, line, and sinker. So I guess what I'm trying to say today is trying to take a big picture view.
Come on!
Okay.
I don't see how to shoot somebody with.
Fallout and attacking our DNA, mRNA vaccines and stuff like that. I think it's as simple as not crushing the U.S. dollar, but actually taking it higher, all right? Because that will destroy the global system. So let me explain this, right?
No, that's a good. Hold on. That's a really good point. I'll get into it a little bit. And I'll let you explain. I don't agree with Mike Adams' characterization, but
Turn that bond. All units move up and engage.
Is worth so much money, then these regional currencies will be worth nothing, and the people won't be able to buy food. So go ahead.
Bingo. You nailed it. And that's the key. Everybody talks about the dollar going down and getting destroyed. The dollar can fail on the downside. The dollar can fail on the upside. I've spent 150,000 hours, so a lot of time of my life, right, studying these currencies. And today and tomorrow, the Fed are in a meeting, right? Kevin Warsh was installed by Trump, by the mega group, right? Just think of the connection here, okay? You have Kevin Warsh, right? You have Scott Bessent. You have Stan Druckenmiller. All those guys are associated with Soros, right? And yet Trump, not only that, Kevin...
Man, we fucking lost this game, bro. Fucking bullshit, bro.
With Wexner, Epstein, the whole deal, right? The Bronfmans, everyone. The dollar is so susceptible, and why do they need a higher dollar? Because, we went Ottoman Empire, Federal Reserve, World War I, World War II, right? All the Rothschild money, all the Rothschild banking interests, South America, Europe, around the world, Swiss francs, Switzerland became a huge, money laundering center for the whole world. And we're moving away from that, right? We're moving into a stablecoin tokenization world, right? And so it's all digital. And currency is typically bound by geography, right? Culture, rule of law, work ethic, geographical boundaries, rivers, oceans, whatever, mountains, whatever. But that's all going away with this digital world, right? The mountains of Switzerland don't mean what they once did before, which goes back to no foreign entanglements anymore. You can't hide anymore, right? And so the whole thing I'm getting at is this whole Federal Reserve thing is coming down, right? Like Kevin Warsh is a total fraud, right? Just look and do the work on this guy. He's best buddies with Stan Druckenmiller. Stan Druckenmiller and Scott Bessent took down the British pound on behalf of George Soros, which they're just all acting on bigger interests, right? These guys are just all a bunch of pawns, right? They're high-level pawns, but don't get me wrong. They're
Okay. You've got a lot of experience. I want to get to other callers. Give us a few. Give us 3 names to research, and I'll do the research on that.
Yeah, so figure out who Kevin Warsh is, right? Go back and watch and see what he's done for the last year and how Trump has promoted him, and now how Trump's behind him. And if these guys take interest rates up, okay, then we have so much debt that every incremental 25 basis point increase is going to destroy our economy and the whole, it's going to destroy the lower class. It's going to destroy the higher currency. That's going to drive the currency higher. Higher interest rates will drive our currency higher. Bessent and all these guys will get behind it. So again, just the biggest thing to do is watch the relationship between Scott Bessent, right? Not only that, look at David Sachs, okay, he's the crypto czar, part-time crypto czar. Look at Chamath Palihapitiya. If you get a chance, here's one thing to research. If your team can pull up a clip on X with Chamath Palihapitiya saved. Okay?
Well, hold on, really quick. I'm not going to cut you off. I want you to stay on the phone. That is a crazy name. So spell that out slowly. I'm going to try to write that down.
Yeah, so it's Chamath, okay, and his last name is Palihapitiya, Palihapitiya, I think.
All right, that should be close enough to find it. So go into this guy really quick.
So here's the deal. He and David Sachs are the ones that got J.D. Vance in as vice president, right? They did a fundraiser. We know Peter Thiel got J.D. Vance in as a senator in Ohio, $15 million. We see it only getting amplified now. Then we get Chamath Palihapitiya and David Sachs raising money in San Francisco right before the, I think, completely false fake Butler, PA shooting. That's a whole scamming. But the point is these guys orchestrated a big fundraiser, right, to get J.D. Vance in as vice president. And Chamath Palihapitiya is behind a lot of the stuff. Just run this clip on him. 150 people rule the world. It's a very important clip. He just straight up tells you 150 people rule the world, bar none. And this guy sat at the right hand of Trump during the tech roundtable, right? He and his wife. Right next to, Zuckerberg and all those nut jobs, right? All the tech nut jobs sitting right around me. So look, you guys say all the time, Trump's either ignorant or he's evil. This guy is the heart of the Trojan horse, in my opinion, right? We have brought him through the gate. this guy has fooled us. The whole story with the, the scorpion, the snake, whatever, that's him. It's Trump.
I agree.
And he is the snake. So just do the research on Chamath Palihapitiya, David Sachs, Kevin Warsh, Scott Bessent, Stanley Druckenmiller. They all work for Bessent and Druckenmiller work for Soros, okay? And now Warsh is a direct descendant off of Stanley Druckenmiller, right? And not only that, look who's Scott Bessent's now running our Treasury, right? And Kevin Warsh is running the Federal Reserve. And we saw this during the real estate crisis, right? We saw that the Treasury was able to, raise $500 billion and allow the Federal Reserve to lever it up 10 to 1 to create all these crazy, look, and this goes back to it.
No, you're good. I appreciate it. I do have to get to other callers. I will do the research. I hope you listen to more shows. I'll talk about it in the future. Thank you. Let's go to Van in Arizona. Van, you're on the air.
I'm going to be constructively critical right now, and I mean this in the best possible light. And this isn't a knock on your dad. Been listening to your dad for over 20 years. I respect the guy, love his take. I always go to him first when I'm trying to figure out what the hell is going on. But I think we need to stop being so trusting of Vance. I think we need to be more open-minded that, everything has failed. How many times we're going to be fooled? How many times we have to be lied to? How many times do we have to trust the plan? Whether it was blindly following Ron Paul, knowing that the state Republican parties were never going to give him that nomination. They were never going to let him in. Trump came in from all guns blazing, but I don't want to expose myself too much. I know the system very well. My grandfather used to be the Sergeant at Arms for the Arizona Republican Party, a very powerful person. I was a Ron Paul supporter, and there was people I know that he kept out of those meetings that did not let Ron Paul get the nomination. Ron Paul had the support. He had the people behind him. It was neck and neck with Romney. We were in Arizona.
Damn it! I'm fucking looking at the damn TV.
Running down McCain. It is an organization. It is a mafia. It is a gang, and we all have to come together. We all have to try, and it's so half-assed. This support of Vance, and it's come on, dude, we need somebody. We need something. It has to be real.
Let me come in. Let me come in. They're all complicit in pushing the war. That is not a war that started 47 years ago that you have to get drafted to fight in. It's going to last another 20 years, but it's not a war. And that's ultimately why I can't support anybody in this administration ever again. That's why I disavow both Rubio and Vance, and I have that position. It's unlike my father's, but this is my position. I don't trust any of these people. So I'm right with you there.
Yeah, we need a dark horse, man. We need somebody to come in and just overhaul everything. Closing not every base around the world, but over half the bases should just be shut down. We need to come back to America.
We have 700.
We need to have 100. But realistically, about 100 different bases. I think that's good. We don't. It's just so.
See, the white people don't understand. Those things are there so that you all keep white dominance. If you just start pulling all your bases off, nobody's your white ass is going to go back into basicness. They don't understand what is going on. It's kind of weird how white people are compartmentalized like that, or they have half of the white race not understanding what the other half is doing. I guess that's the way they work. They don't get it.
I didn't support Trump in 16. I went with Johnson. I'm like, dude, I don't trust that guy. But it took a year to be okay, I like him. And then I voted for him in 20, voted for him in 24, and I'm so ashamed of myself. It's dude, this is the ultimate black pill.
The fact that you think voting matters shows you don't get it. You don't get the plan, brother. You don't get what we're doing here.
With the Ross, when he got, was it Ross Ulbricht? That was the one win. But Doge didn't happen. Every promise that this administration's made, they haven't come through on. They failed us. They have let our generation down so hard. Why? So my grandfather's generation, my parents' generation can just keep raking in just their monetary value. They are sucking the system, and when it all does fail, property values, everything's going to go down. So is everybody's worth, the gold, silver, everything. It'll reset, but
People aren't having children. People aren't having children because we live in an effing prison. And that's the reality. And some people have golden cells and nicer bars because they've been in there longer. That's the reality of where we're at. And it's that degradation that I've felt literally my entire life of just seeing my country, of which I love very much, very deeply, just take unforced error after unforced error after unforced error. That's because it's not an error. It's a system. It's a plan to kill us all. That's what all of this is. And here's the thing. We wouldn't need those military bases if we didn't have to project force to defend Israel.
Yeah, there you go.
That's what it's all about.
I'm about to what he was being dominant. How are you gonna dominate?
I think you should, you know, I love hearing you on the show. Your point is so strong. I think you represent a lot of us that are like in our 30s and 40s, and I think you just kind of like understand the world from our perspective, even people in their 20s. I think you need to be on more. Your dad's amazing. I love him, but I not like my dad could do the same. My dad could listen to me more on things. He's kind of boomer-esque, but you know, you have a solid take. You're awesome, and I love your dad. I'm never gonna stop listening, but we need to stop trusting the establishment. Like, there's no reason to trust Vance, and it's not pretending. Like I used to love Roger Stone, but
let me come in really quick because we got 19 seconds left. Don't trust the plan because the plan is to kill you. Great call, really appreciate it.
Like, how many bullets do you have to shoot somebody with in this bloody game?
See you soon.
And I'm just like hitting people and they're just running around. They're getting shot in the face, shot them in the throat, fucking rifle round bullets. Like, it's like this game doesn't have any concept of what a rifle round does to the human body. Okay, you know what I mean? You don't, like right there, that guy's down. He's like down in any planet. He takes a fucking rifle round to the upper thoracic cavity in the fucking throat. He doesn't fucking snipe back. He lays down. He lays down and he groans in pain. He got shot in the fucking chest by Money Buddha. Like, it makes no sense to me. How, like, you just shoot people and it does nothing. Like that guy, he's down. Like, how many bullets do I have to hit him with before he goes down?
But now I'm back where I was. I'm gonna go even lower. But the whole point is
that, I mean, you get shot in the clavicle with a rifle. You're going down, bro. You're going down. You're not fucking shooting back. You're not running to the side. You're not jumping up and down. You're not doing that weird left and right shit. You lay down and you fucking die. You know what I mean? I don't understand this shit, bro. This game irritates the fuck out of me with that shit. And I fucking shoot people and they look at me like, oh, that's a paintball. Oh, that's a BB. You like that fucking literally reminds me of airsoft. If you ever watch people play airsoft, these motherfuckers get strapped and then they don't put their hands up. And they just get into the nigga got another shoot you like in the eyeball before you finally scream in pain and then say, oh, I got hit. So you know you've been getting hit. You stop that shit, get you? Like, that's what this shit feels like. It feels like an airsoft game. It feels like I'm shooting airsoft bullets, even though these bullets are clearly making holes in concrete. But don't just puncturing holes into the concrete. But when it hits the fucking clutch down, I'm gonna do this left and right shit. I'm gonna tap left and right. Just open right around. That shit is annoying as shit.
When it takes a toxin, it's giving the perfect minerals right there.
And I can hear somebody now saying, well, why don't you just play hardcore? Who the fucking hardcore doesn't have any other maps?
Blood testers, which we've done 3 different independent third-party labs doing different blood testing, they've never seen results like this.
God damn. Somebody knows where I'm at.
Yeah. Our bodies are magical if you get the poisons out.
Many bullets, like right there. Come on, man. I laid into that guy. He fucking runs on me. Can't even run on after getting shot. He's supposed to be bleeding out, bro. That's why I say they need to add grievous wounding, bro. That, you know what I mean? He lays over there, and if he doesn't make it to a medic, and the medic doesn't heal his wounds, he bleeds out. You know what I mean? You shouldn't be able to just run off and heal back that shit. Like, come on, bro. How many bullets? How many bullets? How many bullets right there, bro? I'm feeling shit in the fucking front, man. How many bullets? All right, boys, move up on Alpha, move up.
I'm still here, still fighting for the American dream and your God-given freedom. We're live on AlexJonesLive.com, and if you want to fight, you've got one.
My bad, whoever that was trying to pick me up.
Weeks and even years.
Who is this? Number two, Bravo. Bravo, number two, me, Bravo.
Tomorrow's news today.
If you are receiving this transmission, you are the resistance. Live from Freedom Command Central, it's the Alex Jones Show.
Line, hold Alpha. Bravo secure, go after Bravo Alpha.
Jones Network, Alex Jones Show, connected to a wide variety of mediums, Wi-Fi, internet, TV, radio, you name it. I got hundreds of thousands of people listening to me right now. Go ahead and throw that footage back up there. We got Netanyahu milling around in the swamp. Now, what is the swamp? It's referred to as DC. Howard Lutton, Hegseth, Scott Bessent, Marco Rubio with big ears so big. Look at those ears. He can detect alien life. They actually use him as at NASA to do that, by the way. Some people don't know that. This is the takeover of our country. The NDAA has been passed with sections 219 and section 612 or 619, merging our intelligence community and our military and defense industrial complex.
Oh my God! Grenades! Throw grenades!
Who is above every department head at DOD, save Pete Hegseth, or Secretary of Defense, and then the President. They will commit to a once-a-year report to Congress, just once a year, where, you know, they'll present all information, but if it's a matter of national security, they don't have to give it to Congress. That's literally what the bill says. That's what was passed. It's going to pass the Senate because left, right, center, they own their ass, and President Trump will sign it. Netanyahu's here, the real president, the real owner of the country. I just want to say thank you, Netanyahu, for the air that I breathe. Thank you, Netanyahu, for the bed that I sleep.
There we go. Let's work.
Netanyahu, for the roads that I travel on, because if it was not for you and the 3,000-year-old nation-state of Israel, which is somehow the same as the 78-year-old state that's younger than some of my grandparents, living grandparents, we wouldn't be able to exist or do anything in the U.S. Of course, that's why we have to go fight Iran. If we don't fight Iran, Israel won't do good. And if Israel doesn't do good, we're going to be cursed. Right? That's what they say. Bless Israel, you'll be blessed. Curse Israel, you'll be cursed. Well, if a blessing is me getting drafted to go get blown up by an FPV drone or a child with an RPG, or, you know, just an IRGC guy with the gun or whatever it's going to be, Lord have mercy, I don't want anyone to ever be involved in that scenario. Well, you know, it's justified because we got to defend the Greater Israel Project. I'm saying no to that. I'm saying hell no to that. We're all saying hell no to that. That is why I am live every single day. I want to have a future. I want to have children. I want to have a house. I want to have a country that I can be proud of, a country that reminds me of the place that I grew up in. And I just got to say, where's my country gone? So with that being said, I do want to plug, because here's the thing. We are independently funded here. This is a media operation outside of big tech, outside of big oligarchy, outside of big media. We rely on you. Other people, they do a show to sell a product or pimp a pill. We do a show, or we sell a product so that we can do a show. Right? That's what makes us completely different versus everybody else. It's an independent funding model that depends 100% on you. If you think the reporting has been accurate, if you think it's been informative, if you think it's been a good use of your time, then you might as well go to thealexjonesstore.com. We have absolutely everything you could ever want and hope to need. We got water filtration, so amazing to say I'm a water filter merchant again. We got high quality Patriot apparel, Save the Frog shirts, bands, knives, survival gear, you name it. But I want to tell you guys about the Power Drive bundle. Pretty much everybody knows, like, we're the I'm blue, abadi, abadai. Like, we're the methylene blue people, all right? That's the #1 bestseller. It's got an over 80% reorder rate. It's got that for a reason. People love it, and they love getting our medical quality methylene blue. I made 2 supplements, a combined stack, a Power Drive bundle for you if you're already taking methylene blue, if you want to take it in the future, or if you just want to get incredible supplements that boost your mitochondrial output, mitochondrial health, exercise capacity, oxygen carrying capacity, testosterone, free testosterone, you name it. That is all found in something called the Power Drive bundle. And those two products are called Methyl Drive and Power Plant. What is Methyl Drive? Methyl Drive is CoQ10, PQQ, magnesium, and methylcobalamin. That means activated vitamin B12 for people that can't methylate it properly. Right? That is everything you need to increase electron chain efficiency. That's what CoQ10 does for the mitochondria. Improve and increase mitochondrial biogenesis. That means a healthy mitochondria, it'll replicate, or an injured one will pair with a healthy one. They'll share DNA and heal each other. That is the science of CoQ10. That is the science of PQQ. Top-rated supplements, top formulators. We have it for you. Ultimate Methyl Drive. With the magnesium to boost over 300 enzymatic processes throughout the body. With the methylcobalamin to aid in methylation support, which also helps with redox, helps with methylene blue. What is methylene blue? Really quick, I'll break it down. Nitrogen, sulfur, chlorine. The chlorine group is what gives it its medical dye property. That's why they use it for that. The sulfur donates an electron to your mitochondrial process, speeding you up through the Krebs cycle from stage 1, where you make superoxide, into stage 4, the cleanup phase, also known as oxidative phosphorylation. Basically, it supercharges your metabolism to do what it should do already to even higher potency, higher extent. Of course, talk to a doctor, do your own research. I'm not making medical claims here. When you look at these products, when you look at Methyl Drive and Power Plant specifically, if you're an older person and you start taking Methyl Drive, just anecdotal, I just keep hearing examples of people that call in and tell me it's amazing. If you're somebody looking for exercise support, energy support, maybe fixing your testosterone, stuff like that, maybe you know that you're deficient in these vitamins, minerals, things like boron, zinc, selenium that are really depleted in our environment, and the studies show if you are even mildly deficient in any one of these ingredients that's found in these formulas, the Power Plant product specifically, it's going to massively jack up either your testosterone, free testosterone, probably both. Of course, it's not a medical claim, but go ask Google Scholar, go on PubMed, ask the AI, whatever. I think that's a little bit lazy. Go read the studies for yourself about what these things do. What is in Power Plant? Rhodolia rosea, golden root, the thing Vikings chewed on the boats when they were going to raid people. What does that do? It boosts dopamine, norepinephrine. It's also the adaptogen that the Russians studied specifically for sports enhancement. You can go read USSR documents about Rhodolia rosea. This is something they use subjectively to increase exercise tolerance. That's what they said. I'm not saying that, but you can go read their messages for yourself. You can also take that combined.
Sniper, what is that? Oh, whoa.
Cordyceps mushroom, known to boost my
the vehicle, that's not ours. That's not friendly. Strike on that vehicle, that's not friendly.
That's just what the studies say. That's what the studies say about it.
I thought that was friendly.
Talk to your doctor. Talk to
I can walk right up to that now.
These are very, very powerful blends, and they're blends that you need. I made Power Plant. It's not a one-to-one comparison, because like something like Supermale, the way that Supermale Vitality works is it's a bunch of like LH mimetic herbs, and that will raise your testosterone. But you know, like there could be a diminished return later, and a lot of people understand that mechanism, know about it. This stuff literally just supercharges your natural efficiency by making sure you have the correct minerals in the correct ratio in the correct form that you need to boost testosterone and free testosterone if you are deficient, which most people are. That's why testosterone levels are so low in the West. But I've got that. I've got the Power Plant, I've got the Methyl Drive, and I've got the Methylene Blue all together for you in the Power Drive bundle. We've got so many other amazing things as well. We've got the sale on the Ultimate Power Pre-Workout. We've got the sale on the Methylene Red Capsules. But I really do want to encourage you, just go look up these formulas for yourself. I know my dad says that all the time, and I think he does good ads. But here's the thing. I just explained to you kind of, you know, just like a little bit beneath the surface of the iceberg, some of the mechanisms of action that we're talking about here. Ask the computer about the mechanism of action for each ingredient and every single formula that I designed. You're going to be amazed. You're going to say, this is incredible. How come I didn't know about this before?
Boy, I'm over here banging,
I'm banging for my friends. You sell supplements. Can't do that. But then they'll have a podcast where they read a code for a greens powder and they make 7%. We make 100% because it all goes back into the operation. And if you want to be a part of that true 360 win, that law of equivalent exchange, then I want you to go to thealexjonestore.com. I want you to check out that Power Drive bundle. And if you're already taking Methylene Blue, that is the choice for you. But I want to get back to callers on the board, talking to people about the war, geopolitics, theory, futurism, and so much more. Let's go to Dave in FEMA Region 9. Dave, you're on the air.
Thanks so much, Rex. Appreciate the opportunity. If I could start, I'd like to hitch onto what you said. So every day my regimen, trifecta, iodine, methylene blue, methylene red, turmeric, life force, creatine. I drink hydration formula throughout the day. So I appreciate your guys' products.
Amazing. Thank you so much.
Of course, yeah. I'm proud. Unfortunately, I was a VIP member in the past. I'm only able to work part-time. The job market sucks in Phoenix, but
any support is incredible.
Your sponsors.
Thank you so much. Thank you for sponsoring us and allowing us to do what we do. We can't do it without you. For real.
Yeah, and I'm happy to support one of your sponsors too. I went with Kirk Elliott back in 2024. So he's been amazing too. He definitely has the best program because I got burned by one of the big name ones back in 2020, and I still haven't recovered from the damage they did. So you guys definitely have the best partnerships. Proud member, I've probably bought 60 coins for my crew. One thing you guys mentioned today earlier in the broadcast that I have to have a slight disagreement, that this is not currently a kinetic war, and I think it is a kinetic war through the biomedical industry. If you think back to when President Biden puppet administration let in 20, 40, 10 illegal alien invaders, what came through with them was fentanyl. During the years 2021 through 2025, we lost 300 American citizens daily, 100,000 a year to CCP fentanyl poisoning. So I predicted this. I'm not as prescient as you or your father, but on my Twitch account, under PSU_SIGEP, you'll see my pin post, Operation Chaos. Now, the date of this was Flag Day 2020. Operation Chaos. Culture will morph into a civil war if we allow it to continue. The leftists crave delegitimization of our institutions, divide the families, race culture, limit speech, curtail thoughts.
I mean, you fucking point blank range with these guys, and it still doesn't kill them, doesn't slow them down, doesn't do nothing to them. Their body doesn't shake. Fucking paintball bullets.
Not for years nor decades, but generations, and it's all been run by the
fucking point blank range and shit doesn't do a damn thing.
Unfortunately, I think President Trump is doing the best job he can. He can't, using the rudder on that Titanic, turn this ship around. And I'm not sure how he doesn't get Radcliffe and J.D. Vance in a room and say, you know what? The CIA needs to turn this stuff over today by 5 p.m. In addition, I think J.D. Vance is a collaborationist with the deep state because he could walk over to the Senate, and I know he knows the path because he was a senator, and take the gavel from leaderless John Thune.
There we go. That's game.
In an hour.
Very true.
That would be pretty simple.
People have talked about that. Go into that a little bit more. That's a key point. He can go do that anytime he wants. Break that down.
I've been screaming this on every media broadcast I can do. The first thing he does is he goes over and takes the gavel. The first thing he does is he says, okay, we're going to suspend regular order. Now that regular order, in air quotes, is no big deal because they do it every time they do a CR, which they've done for 30 years. So what they do is they just suspend the rules of the Senate. No big deal. The next thing he does is he says, okay, I'm going to fire the parliamentarian. The parliamentarian is Harry Reid's baggage from the Obama days. Why is leaderless John Thune letting the parliamentarian sit in her chair? Because he wants cover. The next thing he does is he calls the question on leaderless John Thune. It takes 5 GOP senators to call the question of his leadership, 27 to remove him, and have a new vote. That's pretty easy, right? All straightforward stuff. The next thing he does is he calls the Save America Act to the floor. Now, since we're out, the next thing he does is he abolishes the filibuster. It's a rule in the Senate. It's not in the Constitution. We could do that with a simple majority vote, right? And he breaks all ties. So he needs 50 votes. I'm going to assume Mitch McChina is not going to show up, right? So we have 52 Republican senators. So if 3 of them wandered off the reservation, at least we'd know before primaries are all set and before the general election. So that's clarity as well. Then the next thing he does is after he does that, he calls a Save America vote. Again, regular order is the rule of the day. We need 50 votes, and he would break a tie as the president of the Senate. And then the last thing he does, this is probably the most consequential, and people lose sight of it. He gavels out the Senate for a full recess. President Trump is the only president in our history, I believe, in 250 years, or at least in recent times, that has never had a recess appointment. This is the 6th year of his administration. So I understand when people say President Trump's doing the wrong thing. A lot of the stuff that he's trying to combat is in the legislative branch, and there are ways around it, but he needs J.D. Vance to pull up his bootstraps and get it done. I call the White House every single day, 202-456-1414. I leave a message for President Trump to encourage/force the Senate of the President's Senate, J.D. Vance as Vice President, to go to the Senate and take the gavel. We're burning daylight. Thanks for letting me ramble, Rex. I appreciate you.
Good points. Thank you. I appreciate the call. Let's go to Chris in Tennessee. Chris in Tennessee, you're about to be on the air. How are you doing?
Hey, Rex. I'm doing good. How are you, buddy?
I'm doing phenomenal.
Yeah, man. So I've got a bit of a unique perspective. Probably something you've never heard on the show before. I've listened to your dad since 2011 when I discovered him. And I am actually a almost totally blind individual. I'm the father of three beautiful children. I'm very interested in this. And in the blind community, which I'm a part of, unfortunately, it's incredibly left-leaning due to a lot of government assistance, because most blind people are unemployed and living on government assistance. That's extremely common. And they're very, very interested in technology. So I actually agree with you on a lot of where you stand. From what I can tell, even where you differ from your
You know how crazy white people are. How you gonna say you gonna talk shit about government assistance and then say you're on government assistance? I tell white people that all the time when they bring up welfare. I'm like, the number one welfare recipient is white people. What are you talking about?
I really called to talk about that. That's what I wanted to say a little bit about myself. I'm in Knoxville.
It really sounds good to be racist to talk about black people on welfare, but the number one welfare recipient is white people. What are you talking about? What are we talking about here? What are we talking about?
He interviewed him. The wrestler Kane, if you're not familiar. But anyway, he's our mayor now. Been a great mayor.
He banned the flock cameras, right? He's banning the flock cameras?
So that's what I'm getting at. So here's the thing. From what I heard is he signed to have them put in, right? And then he publicly comes out and states that we need to do something about them. So it's really, I don't understand exactly where he stands on it. From where he has traditionally stood, he's very freedom, right?
Right.
And I've always liked Glenn Jacobs, but this has been very, very perplexing to me. But there is a local Facebook page that is big on exposing flock and Axon and things like that. And the biggest thing that I think people need to realize, and something I want to draw attention to, that everybody really needs to focus on their local stuff way more than this big national circus we have going on, because it's just a circus, man. It's professional wrestling, which is funny that we have Kane as our mayor, but yeah, it's professional wrestling in Washington, and unfortunately we all have to pay the price because we get put into these wars we don't want to be in, all this sort of stuff. But the reality is, have you ever heard of a book called The Doctrine of the Lesser Magistrate?
I have not.
So it's written by a Lutheran pastor. It's about 100 pages long. It's not long at all. But with that doctrine, it shows you how much more control you have. Like, for instance, and everybody should know this, if you're, whatever law they pass in Washington, if you're, or even in your state legislature, if your local sheriff and mayor don't implement it, it doesn't really matter. So your local government matters so much, and we have a very, 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 what's the word I'm looking for? Communist-friendly candidate running on the Democrat side for mayor. He's like, they found his Goodreads account. He subscribed to the DSA. He actually 6 years ago went to Venezuela and marched for Maduro and in fact a hammer and sickle shirt to wear while he marched. Of course, he said he was down there supporting the labor. I'm like, he's not supporting labor wearing a hammer and sickle shirt. He's clearly an communist. I wanted to kind of say that to everybody to really bring that focus. Like, think local, man. Local matters so much. We've been a bastion of freedom for the most part. This flock camera stuff is really, really frustrating me because, yeah, it is a surveillance system. That's what it is, and it will absolutely surveil you. And this local Facebook page has been very, very good. I got to give them credit. Very, very good about calling it out. They're pulling all kinds of documents. The Knox County Sheriff's Office at first we're going to have a big meeting about it, and they declined to have the meeting last minute. Of course they did, because that's what they do. There's so little trust for anything establishment anymore. And man, I agree with you. I think Trump is the Trojan horse, man. I was a Trump guy years ago, and I actually was bothered for a long time that InfoWars would not call him out. I'm happy to see it now. I really am. I'm happy to see it now. It's really good because your dad opened up a lot of doors for a lot of people. So, but yeah, man, I'll yield my time. I just wanted to share that, and I really appreciate you giving me the opportunity.
All right. Thank you for your call. I appreciate that. To everyone else on the board, to Steve, Troy, Jefferson, Tim, I'm sorry I can't get to you today, but I want to close out here with 5 minutes. I just want to talk about the state of our world right now. We are in an unprecedented era of danger. And those who would tell you that you are still safe, that you are still fine, that everything is fine, buttercup, it's all going to be good, those are people, whether wittingly or unwittingly, it's a Talon's razor. I don't want to attribute to malevolence, but it can be attributed to stupidity. And it is pure stupidity and ignorance that leads to us, at least to people supporting the policies that will get us all executed in either nuclear war, technocracy, or mass famine, or, World War III, Civil War, whatever you want to say. Those people are, whether they know it or not, like I'm saying, I'm trying to be very careful here, those people are your enemy. They're my enemy. They're the enemy of everyone in this country that wants to live peacefully and have what's promised in our Constitution, which is life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. We don't have much life here. We kill 63 million babies. That's abortion. I want to do more pro-life stuff. I want to talk about that tomorrow specifically, and I will. I'll probably even take calls on that. You have to understand, we're paying the price for some of the stuff that we've done. And, I love America, and I consider America to be the greatest country in the world. But, for a very long time, we've done a lot of really great evil. We've killed 38 million people since the 70s with our sanctions. Like I just said, it's like 67 million babies that have been aborted in the U.S. If you look at all the wars and the direct death, we're talking about Afghanistan, Iraq, Ukraine, millions dead, millions of war casualties, not even counting our own troops who come home and killed themselves. More deaths from suicide than in the wars because of what they have to do and what they have to see. All of this stuff doesn't benefit the American people. It doesn't benefit you sitting at home, and it's not what you voted for. It's not what you wanted. Don't let them psyop you into believing it's okay. I see the Rick and Morty memes that Trump posts are really, really disgusting. That they think they can joke at a time like this where 4 Americans just died in the Middle East for a war manufactured by Israel. And then, even worse than that, people have the nerve, our government and the major media figures have the nerve to say that it's still not a war. I want you to go talk to the families. Like I said, go be a notifier. Go join the army. Go join whatever branch of government. And I bet it really hurts people that are actually noble and have to serve and have to go notify, hey, mother of the dead woman, mother of the dead soldier, mother of the dead Marine. Hey, your child died so that we could have, this greater Israel and the Levant. And it's a good thing because Israel's our greatest ally and we're going to fight China with them and we have to do it. Go knock on their door. Go tell them that. Maybe some of them are so psyoped and co-opted they'll believe you. And then you're really down with the sickness then. And that's where we are. That's where we are as a society.
You see this thing right here, bro?
These aren't controversial things. These are noble things to say. These are things I have to say. I'm compelled
the fucking meter, the 25 meter thing is supposed to be able to be changed. That wire that you see going to it is the detonator setter. So it's supposed to be able to be set, but they're so lame that they got it set only at the shortest detonation because they didn't want people to actually utilize it to the proper performance. So you can only fucking shoot the damn thing fucking point blank range and get killed when that's not what it's for.
On a no new wars, domestic prosperity.
That shit's annoying and shit, bro.
Where are we now? Can you explain to me how, we gotta win in the midterm, we're gonna beat the Democrat? Well, what happens if we win? Trump said we'll get tired of winning. I think that's his most prophetic statement. What is winning? Is winning reneging on every single policy you promised to the American people and taking them to total war? And then if they don't vote for you in the midterms, they don't support you in the midterms, they're a Democrat? It reminds me of when I was watching Sean Hannity on TV with my grandparents. And Sean Hannity said, forgive me, I don't want to say everybody. when it went to break on Sean Hannity's show, they show an ad for the data center. And they say, if you don't support the data center, then you are a Democrat. So if I'm going to the midterm polls, going to be a voter in the midterm elections, and I'm told that if I don't support the data centers, then I'm a Democrat. If I don't support the wars, then I'm a Democrat. If I don't support Americans coming home in effing coffins, I'm a Democrat. Then I'm just not going to vote because you insult me over and over and over again. And even more than that, you hold over my head the threat of the Democrats.
Nobody cares if you don't vote. That's another thing people don't understand. The vote is just for you to feel good about what you did. Your votes don't matter. They never mattered. I don't care if everybody in the whole planet, like, it feels like nobody was in that school. I was in school once. And the student council president, well, the one that was going to be, said they were going to put fucking Kool-Aid in all the water fountains. And they campaigned on that. And the whole school voted for this motherfucker for them to be the fucking student council president. And guess what? There was no fucking Kool-Aid in those water fountains. Yeah, I mean, the second they won, all the faculty grabbed them up, dragged them in this room, and that was the last time you heard about motherfucking water fountains goddamn having Kool-Aid in it. So from that point on, nigga, you knew that shit was fake, bro. Voting has been fake from the very beginning, bro. Yeah, I mean, and I feel like nobody else experienced that shit. I mean, the whole school. That, I mean, which is just a microcosm of reality. You know what I mean? Which means the whole people could vote for something, and it's not going to happen, bro. They're not going to honor anything that you choose, no matter how you choose it, and no matter what kind of way you choose it for. You know what I mean? It's all a scam. It's all a big ploy, and your votes never matter. They never mattered before. They'll never matter after. You know what I mean? And anybody who thinks that it matters, you don't get it. You just don't get what we're doing here. You know what I mean? Let me get a vehicle. Can I finally get into a vehicle? Shit. I think this is our third vehicle the whole fucking 2 hours now. Money Buddha's back in a car. Who had the pleasure to ever drive in a car with Money Buddha? You were lucky. I used to fucking fly in the car. Oh my god. That shit did nothing.
And FirstUnitedPayments.com stands directly.
Can I spawn on this guy? On the motorbike that's gonna try to cross a motorbike into the river?
Call or email First United Payments now and ask them how you can protect your business against the globalist predatory attacks and shutdowns today.
I kind of like this gun. It's like a SIG. Kind of like a little SIG Sauger.
899-1313. You've got to be able to have your own business. You've got to be able to operate without these globalist sharks, this mafia.
Yay, I get to plant the final bomb. Money Buddha's the greatest of all time. Vote Money Buddha for president.
This is the place for you. Now visit
Days, weeks, and even years ahead of the news cycle. AlexJonesLive.com.
There you go. Keep eyes on Bravo. Keep eyes on Bravo.
You do not. Real time, uncensored, unstoppable. AlexJonesLive.com. Take a stand. Share the link.
Don't go that way, bro. You can't go across the river that way. Fucking stupid motherfucking cracker.
The Alex Jones Network. Tomorrow's news today.
A double kill.
It is Tuesday, July 28th, 2026. I am your host, Alex Jones, and I come to you with absolutely horrible news. But what is positive as we enter the 150th day of this expansion of the New World War that we're already deep into, is I bring you this terrible information.
Money Buddha secured the bomb a third time.
Not because we're helpless, but because we have truth and justice and history on our side. And the fourth turning here, there's a global awakening of the population, and elites always try to have giant wars. When this happens, it's their go-to. Elon Musk has been warning of this. I have many others. It was the topic a few years ago at the World Government Summit in Dubai, that they bypassed a reset with a new world war. They tried to use COVID as
there it is, Money Buddha wins the game. My brother is a long time. Money Buddha go.
AlexJonesLive.com yesterday. It's in the Army Times. It's on the official Pentagon and Selective Service website. Let's put the article on screen. And then let's go through each link in it to show people the Selective Service website.
We still have not gotten fucking enough damage with these damn grenades.
Because even when we posted all this yesterday, people had trouble believing it because it's so shocking. But there's links all there. This is all true. President Trump has ordered the Pentagon, the Selective Service, to put out bids and has given them 3 weeks for AI companies, big tech, to have a plan to implement the draft, that is to enforce it within 3 weeks. Last year, Trump expanded previous expansions on the Selective Service to make it automatic, whether you like it or not. Yes, it's the law. If you're a man, when you get 16 to get a driver's license, you're supposed to register for it. But now it's for everybody, and you cannot opt out of it. And they have it set now to basically implement the draft and then have you called up with your draft number. And they're going to say, we broke this months ago, just we had the rumblings from inside the Pentagon, that, oh, well, we're not sure we're going to do it, but we're going to have it primed and ready.
All units, we need to
have you already drafted and ready to be called up off your smartphone. And you saw the neocon that Israel installed in Kentucky. We played his speeches a few months ago, where he said, sure, we can call it the draft basically any time, but we need to go ahead and implement the draft now and have everybody through basic training. And then
what the hell did this guy just do? Did he literally just drive the truck off the fucking ledge? Where the hell are they getting these retards?
And Trump's brain did a clip of him saying that Trump sent in 400,000 troops into Iraq and that it took 40-something minutes. And Iran will take 50-something minutes. I, in fact, played that clip yesterday. We have that again for you. They're also talking about using nuclear weapons. So I'm going to say this again. Here's the headline at AlexJonesLive.com. We posted on X at Alex Jones, and it's at the other side, so you share it. So you have the best article on this one that went viral because it has all the links in it. People didn't even believe it on the Army Times website. Trump admin gives vendors under 3 weeks to create computer simulation models for the military draft. And you read the order. That is the first link right there, publish a request. It says to implement the draft. So we'll come back and show you that document. That's the first link right there. And more on it. Dream and your God-given freedom. We're live on AlexJonesLive.com, and if you want to fight, you've got one.
mainstream media, government cover-ups. You want answers? Well, so does he. Live from Austin, Texas, broadcasting worldwide, it's Alex Jones.
It is Tuesday, July 28th, 2026. I'm your host, Alex Jones. Thank you so much for joining us. You're going to want to take the live feeds right now at alexjoneslive.com/show, at rumble.com/The Alex Jones Show Live, and X at Real Alex Show. And share them like your future depends on it, because we can stop this together. So, Trump last year got legislation passed to make the Selective Service mandatory and to raise the age of conscription to 42 from 35. It also makes it the law that computers will automatically register you into the draft when you get a driver's license or when you turn 18, whichever one happens first. We can show you those laws. That's on record. People find it so unbelievable that they just live in denial. Now, yesterday, they published on the Federal Register, under orders from President Trump via the Pentagon and Selective Service, vendors that have been given less than a 3-week window, AI companies, to compete for the contract to implement those provisions of the law and to prepare for national conscription for the full invasion, ground invasion of Iran. Now, that's one big component of this. The other big component is we're not going to be indentured servants to Israel and to the globalists for this insane war. The Pentagon has told Trump, do not launch this war, that the mullahs wouldn't fall. They have said a ground invasion will be the biggest bloodbath that ever will make Vietnam look like a walk in the park. This is beyond a disaster. And so I said, if Trump continues to talk about nuking Iran, killing their whole culture in one day, never to return, a giant glowing crater, that's nukes. And the surrogates were all calling for nukes. Israel and Lindsey Graham at the time, and of course, Mark Levin, the mouth of Sauron. I said, we need a 25th Amendment him. If he continues that, the next day he came out and said, I don't need to. Let's make a deal. I said, okay. Maybe he got shaken back into his sanity. And he did hear what I had to say because he attacked me and called me low IQ and much stuff, which is great. That means, we're getting his attention. What's insane and maniacal is what Netanyahu is trying to get us into. So I am saying right now, 100% clearly, that if Trump tries to implement the draft, which he's doing, but if they actually put the AI in and notice everybody that, okay, you're in the draft now, and they're saying, according to their previous neocon statements this year, including the guy Israel installed in Kentucky, he said, we've got to go ahead and implement the law that Trump passed last year, and we've got to go ahead and get them ready for the draft. And we need to go ahead and have everybody go through basic training because we're going to have to go to total war. We need at least 500,000 troops. That's 500,000 troops, ladies and gentlemen, to be fed into the meat grinder. You've seen all the conscription. We can roll some B-roll of that in case you missed it. What's happening in Ukraine. New footage out of them surrounding cars and dragging fathers, women, and their children and taking them off to be at the front lines. And all they do is absorb Russian artillery and drones, and they use the people as bait. That's literal cannon fodder, meaning feeding them to cannons is the old term from World War I, to then get targeting on where the Russians are. So humans are now just decoys for the robot wars that we're now in. Skynet is here. So I am calling for Trump to clarify that there will not be a national draft, though he can't do that. That's what he's doing. I called for Trump a few months ago to clarify that he's not for the NDAA, Section 219 that's passed the House, to merge our military and intelligence with the Israelis. He did not clarify and, in fact, supported that. And I believe that is an impeachable offense. And also, I think it shows insanity. So 25th Amendment. But what completely shows it is trying to implement a draft and ignore the Pentagon's own reports that this will be a giant bloodbath and a huge failure. The Iranians are begging for us to do a ground invasion. Then all our high-tech weapons that are like we're Martians and they're, you know, little humans being bombed, or we're a kid with a magnifying glass in the sun burning ants, or, you know, pulling insects' legs off like we're Jeffrey Dahmer. We're going to have to get down there on the ground at point-blank range. You've heard Marines call in and talk about fighting just some of these Iranian-trained people in Fallujah. So this is a whole other ball of wax. These are as bad as North Koreans or Russians, okay? And a lot of you are like, well, we're tough, we're Americans, we can handle it. Like Lindsey Graham said, hey, there's only 2,500 Marines and 10,000 Army troops a few months ago. You want to invade Strait of Hormuz, you know, it'll take hundreds of thousands of troops, Pentagon says. He goes, I believe in our Marines. It took 110,000 Marines and sailors to take Iwo Jima, just one island, with like 23,000 troops, fighting 4,000 Japanese, and it took a month. Look it up. Look it up. We dropped 7.6 million bombs over 11 years on Vietnam, and we lost. We only dropped 50,000 bombs on the Iranians. Like Graham said, boy, Trump loves to blow stuff up. We have new clips from the same documentary that the Wall Street Journal's doing, and it's set to release, of Graham on the phone days in saying he believed they would fall in days or weeks guaranteed, which we've been told he told Trump and so did Netanyahu from information leaked to Axios. Now it's all confirmed. They were wrong. We were right. They ignored the Pentagon. And even the IDF told Trump, you're not going to get regime change. This is just going to sow chaos. And now you have the Israeli finance minister saying, we want chaos. We want America fighting and dying for us. This is, quote, what an ideal situation. So we're about to have a national draft implemented for total war and expansion of the New World War we're in a proxy war with Russia, China, through Ukraine and Iran. And now it's not as the Ukrainians as a proxy for NATO and the U.S. Now the U.S. is a proxy for Israel, for the Greater Israel Project. So I don't think anybody can deny that we have the madness of King George III, who thought he could beat the colonies. And then, of course, by the end, he finally got removed the fears after the war was over. He's totally insane. And Trump's going to get us all killed. And he's been totally erratic and half-baked on this whole thing. And the rule is didn't fall. And so the next move, as I've warned and Joe Kent's warned, will be to escalate. And then when a whole bunch of our troops get killed, I mean tens of thousands conservatively, the Pentagon's estimating, and the Iranians are overrunning us, it'll then be time to use nuclear weapons. And that's the threat escalation ladder. We know what comes next in this. That's how we keep predicting everything with precision, because all of this has been war game. Eastern Europe war, Iran war, nothing other than China and North Korea. Those are the top war game things. War with China, war with North Korea both, war with Russia and Eastern Europe, and war in the Middle East with Iran. And then, of course, submarine launch nuke attacks. That's all been war game as well, but those are just weapon against weapon systems, not the actual geopolitical situation. So this is totally war game. Up one side, down the other by everybody. This is a total disaster. We have been sleptwalked into total war. The globalists above it want this as the Great Reset. Trump admin gives vendors under 3 weeks to create computer simulation models for military draft. Let's read this article. It's got all the links in it to the Pentagon website, Selected Service, the Army Times. It's all here. This is at AlexJonesLive.com. Trump admin gives vendors under 3 weeks to create computer simulation model for military draft. The Trump administration Selective Service System published a request, linked right there, last week asking vendors to create a computer simulation so the agency can test scenarios for a national military draft. They now have 2 weeks left. So 2 weeks. Military Times reported on the news Friday, noting the readiness simulation project comes as the U.S. government is about to change its draft registration system. That law was passed last year. It's implemented right now. President Trump in 2025 signed a law altering the Military Selective Service Act to automatically register men 18 to 26 for the national draft beginning October 1926, and now they've expanded it up to the age of 43 to be able to join. The Selective Service System told Military Times in response to requests for, quote, SSS currently relies on manual analysis, legacy modeling approaches, outdated assumptions, and historical data sets that do not fully reflect modern demographics, communications channels, throughout constraints, or operational readiness conditions. And it goes on to say they are now put out their policy report and request for bids to the AI companies to be able to come in and live time scoop all of your data out of the databases, which going back to Biden 5-6 years ago, they started without warrants using the IRS through all bank account computers to monitor you in live time. So they already have all this, they're just implementing it. And it says computer models will represent the MEPRS military enhanced procedural stations throughout. And it basically says AI will decide who is going to be drafted. I'm sure that's going to be really fair. Vendors have until August 14th to turn in their simulation models. The U.S. Army also expanded its recruiting pool in March, raising the maximum enlisted age from 35 to 42. Well, it was 43. Clearly, it's up to 43, indicating American forces are undermanned and the Pentagon is struggling to recruit. And by the way, they brought back the poison shots, mRNA flu shots now, so they lied about that. They said they were going to stop that. But the ongoing Iran war that has no sign of slowing down except it's expanding anytime soon, and the attempt to integrate the Israel military with U.S. forces, the government's game planning of national draft is unsettling to say the least. We've got our video reports and breakdowns. We predict it all right there below. You might want to share our article because unlike the Army, Military Times, the Army, and all the rest of it, we give you context and background and interviews and predictions months ago that indeed this is all about to kick in for the ground war. And back on March 1st, I did that special 3-hour live Saturday show. I walked through everything that would happen. That if Trump didn't get sense and pull back, it would then mean ground invasion and the implementation of the national draft that is now under the law implemented. It's now there. Now they have to begin the actual draft. The national draft is established and passed and back. And now they have to pull the trigger. So the gun is loaded and aimed. Now they just have to pull the trigger. And they want to pull the trigger with AI to direct all of this. So total war, massive expansion. This is completely illegal, unbelievably dangerous. You can have a law that black people aren't humans or 2/3 human. I say it's illegal. Hitler could pass laws that he could take people's property and throw them in a camp. I say it's illegal according to God's law. So they can pass laws all day long and they can have their illegal wars. This is pure garbage. We have the War Powers Act. When we go to war, Congress is supposed to vote on it and supposed to declare war. And the president executes. But we've tried to pull down this war in the last 150 days, 3 times? And the Congress has failed. They voted last Friday to try to implement the War Powers Act, and it failed by 3 votes. So, by that measure, it is illegal under the Constitution. This is an illegal, undeclared war, and it's a war when it's costing $2 million plus a day, and they're having to get the national draft ready, and the president's talking about nuclear weapons. Okay? And invading a country of 93 million people that has a 1 million+ person army.
Defensive positions on the double.
Trump keeps saying all their missiles have been destroyed. You see that's not true. And now Russia and China are giving them targeting information, just like we give Ukraine target information on Russia. There's over 100,000 North Korean troops fighting in Ukraine now. That's been going on for over a year and a half. This is a world war, folks. And you look up from Ukraine, and that 500 kilometers right down to Iran, the end of Iran is 700 kilometers, and it's just explosions and death and war in those maps. Refineries, pipelines, cables, ships, bases. Almost all of our radar has been destroyed. And these are billion-dollar radars. That's why the missiles are coming through, more than just the Russians and Chinese giving them satellite targeting data. We're running out of ammunition. And so, just like the EU is unelected, the EU Commission, they said we're going to use war to stay in power. Hey. This is the last refuge of tyrants. When they lose control, as Gerald Celente says, they take you to war. And this is where we're going. We're being sleptwalked into this by design. You've heard all the military callers, so smart. Call in and say, absolutely, Trump is preparing us. And when you saw Trump say, hey, Vietnam lasted 19 years. He said that like 5 or 6 times last month. They go, how long was this war? And he goes, I don't know. Vietnam was 19 years. It wasn't, folks. It was 11. And the goal of talking about 64, but just whatever. The point is, he's like, 19 years, 58,000, it's worth it. We have lots of, and of course, it's wrecking the economy, all of it. So here's the deal. We all, former Trump supporters, we can still support good people in this administration. RFK Jr. and stuff, we can still say, we're not for the Democrats. We can spend time on them and all their evil and what they've got planned and packing the Supreme Court and shutting down private grocery stores and government-run grocery stores and Mondami's advisors admitting we want to bankrupt small businesses and we want the state to be the monopoly and they want to open the borders and flood us and they want to cut our sons' genitals off and our daughters, cut them up. We need to spend time on them. But front and center is Trump and the neocons and the Israel firsters conducting a coup over our country and over our Congress to force us into total war for greater Israel. With a country of 93 million, with all those incredible weapons, 4,500 square miles. Gaza was 140 square miles. Took Israel's years and years and massive debt, $40-something million in bombs to only get partial control of. And the Iranian troops are way better than Hamas. I'd say 5 times better. They're some of the best soldiers out there. And they are, I put out video of the first training of MMA class for like 13-year-old boys, and the guy is punching them in the face. And people say, well, they're brain damaged now. These Iranians are wimps and idiots. No, on the first day, he's finding out who's tough and who isn't. He's already finding out who's been in fights. He's already finding out who can take a punch. It's not hitting him that hard, but he's giving them, pretty good hits. What do you think the Marines used to do until they watered their stuff down 30 years ago? Exact same stuff, ladies and gentlemen. Exact same stuff to find out who's who. That's actually what you would do on the wall. What do you think? What do you think our military? What do you think the Army used to do? Yeah. So it's finding out who's who right up front. You don't find that out until you punch somebody in the face. Okay. So this is the real world. And they're like, oh God, you love the Iranians. You're a wimp. Yeah, right. The point is, they use their little kids to go out and dig for mines when they fought the U.S. proxy war with Iraq in the 80s. Millions died. They use 10-year-old kids. You go, oh, they're barbarous. They're scum. Yeah, they're totally committed. That's who we're about to ground war with, okay? And you're going to be fighting 12-year-old boys with rocket launchers at point-blank range. Okay? And so, yeah, and our Marines are tough, and our Army's tough. And so are they. And Israel has already said they're not going to put any troops in. Just type in, Israel will not join the U.S. in ground war that Israel is demanding. I'm going to say that again. Israel will not send in troops to Iran. They are going to send us in. It is an ideal situation, said their finance minister last week. Played it about 10 times.
Great.
Okay.
Great.
So,
Great.
got conned into this. He has lost his mind, or he is evil. I don't know.
I don't know. Great.
He knows behind the scenes that this is a disaster, but it's all about face saving.
How do you pick up the phone and then not answer this time?
He thinks scare the Iranians. Oh no, don't send in your ground troops.
Great.
They're dug in. They're waiting. They are literally sitting there.
Be advised.
I would imagine a lot of the Iranian officers are probably masturbating to this right now. I mean, I'm not being gross. I mean, I'm serious. Okay? I mean, they are salivating that they're with their small arms, with their artillery, with their hand grenades, with their mortars, with their weapons, with their booby traps, with their mines. These people love it. They are like foaming at the mouth, like starving hyenas. Okay, just waiting for the troops to land on those beaches. They cannot wait. Sliced bread to them, okay? And that's where we are. So this is unspeakably evil. This is unspeakably bad. We must stop this. We must stand against this. If you just tuned in, they're preparing the national draft. It's already implemented and ready by law to be implemented. Automatic computerized. They're giving the bids out by the 14th of August to begin deciding. Just automatically registered into it, and they're preparing to implement it and conscript you. And let's put up some footage of Ukrainian conscription, because this is the model. NATO having a war with Russia, fighting to the last Ukrainian. So those images you see
You
in
can't
Ukraine,
get no fucking number out.
those images you see in Ukraine, that is what they have planned for all of us. That is what they want. Now, here's the deal. We've got a bunch of huge guests on the show today.
Hey, you see me calling you?
We'll get into all the topics they want to raise, but these are also really smart people.
I'm calling you again right now.
On next hour to get in to no prosecutions against the deep state. As
Fucking street where?
Cashtel now in a lot of trouble, but that's just a side issue now. We'll get some information on him. He's a veteran, counterterrorism, former.
I was gonna say, do you go to the claims on sponsor
What
claims?
we should do about this national draft. We got another huge guest on.
I'm just fucking calling you.
Bring that up to them as well, because this is the big front and center. This is the big enchilada.
And get see if they got honey. Bitch, hang up the fucking phone.
Well, you put massive pressure on Congress.
Keep it fucking
This
bitch.
is a war. You're violating the law. By the law, we're in a full war. This is a full war. You're supposed to vote on the war. You're supposed to declare
Hello.
war so that a president can't just sleepwalk
Hello.
incrementalism into this. And this Constitution is written for where we are now.
Can you get the see if they got honey
I
mustard?
don't care how you do it. People say, well, we'll be allied with, idiots like AOC. It doesn't
Okay.
matter. And you watch, once we start actually trying to impeach him, the Democrats are suddenly not going to support it. They act like they're against this war. Most of them are controlled by AIPAC as well. But we have a job to do to expose this.
19 calls, bro.
And stop this. And I got to tell you, Rex
Just 19 fucking calls.
co-hosting today. He's 23.
And bitch still got in their mouth talking to somebody. Like, god damn.
My middle daughter is 18. And then my little daughter is 9 now. My youngest. I have 3 children. And by the way, they're saying they're going to draft women under this because we're liberal now. Women get to die too, just like in Europe. A whole bunch of their countries have now passed the draft. And now they want an EU-wide one. Germany's passed regulations where military-aged men can't get out of the country without special dispensation. This is all being prepared. Everything you see in Europe is coming here. This is a global situation. New Zealand, Australia, they've all, Europe, the UK have all put in the same laws, conscription being prepared with AI computers. It's all unified, just like with COVID. It's all unified, ladies and gentlemen. Just like with COVID, the same laws, the same regulations, the same names. Just like they paid from Australia to the U.S., $53,000 the equivalent. Anybody put on a ventilator, they kill. It's all a bounty. QR codes you get in a restaurant, same thing. It's global. This is being globally implemented. We've got to stop the implementation of conscription. We've got to say no. And civil disobedience is coming. What are you going to do to fight this? We'll be back. Share the live feed right now. Your future depends on it. Real Alex Jones on that. Share it now. Share it now. We're going to stop this. Tell you something right now that is one of the most, if not the most important things I've ever talked about on air. And I want you to really listen to me. And I want you to get a pen and paper out of your iPhone, out of your Droid, and type this into your notes. And I want you at lunch today or tonight or right now to just go to any search engine you want and type in 2 different names, 2 different words, okay? 2 different drugs that have won Nobel Prizes, you name it, that people don't want you to know about. And one of those is ivermectin that everybody knows about. The other one that most people still don't know about is mebenzidol. You do the research, then it's important to understand that you need to get it from a pharmacy. You need to get it from a doctor. And we have a sponsor, and that's, of course, Bigley. And they use the same service as the big web RXs and great people we've used that have been sponsors in the past. This is Bigley doing it. And the key is it's real, it's pharmaceutical, and it is a very low price. People are selling knockoffs of it online without a prescription, and a lot of it's fake or a lot of it's watered down and adulterated. Because I did a regimen a couple years ago of mebenzidol. We'll put that on screen. That's how you spell it right there. MEBENDAZOLE. And it didn't have any effect. I bought it off of Amazon. And I did research. They said most of that stuff's fake. So I went and I got it from a doctor. And it was incredible. And my own medical doctor, those clinics all over the state of Texas that had already been pushing on me for years, and I just never done it. Ladies and gentlemen, you can get the 2 in a combo. The ivermectin and the mebenzidol together. And they work synergistically together. It is certified and known. Both of them make incredible anti-parasite. Just search the term ivermectin, mebenzidol, and just put in safe. and do your own research and see what the system has been suppressing about this. And this is something, in my view, talk to your physician, and when you go to the website, it's online pharmacy, and they've got nurses, doctors, all of it, and then you get the prescription. It's very, very easy to do, and I would recommend, but talk to your doctor. This is my own personal opinion. What I do for myself is twice a year, I take a regimen of ivermectin and methadone. And it is incredible. People ask, why else is it healthy? It's a couple of things. It's the ivermectin, it's the methadone that I take about twice a year as a regimen. Some people, my medical doctor says, take a little bit of ivermectin every week, but I tend to forget to do that. He's literally just says take like 2 pills a week as a supplemental. That's what my medical doctor tells me. You get your own medical doctor tell you what you want. But the big thing they say is a couple of times a year, a big dose, a big regimen. You talk to your physicians. You talk to folks. Let me put it on screen for you. 1776 RX, just 1776 RX.health. This is one of the most important things you'll ever do, ladies and gentlemen. And despite the system trying to suppress this information, it's getting out everywhere. So do your own research. This is revolutionary. This is so important. 1776, just the numbers. 1776 RX.health. Those are the coordinates. And it's a win-win to fund our operation and what we're doing. Take action now. The most important decision you'll ever make. 1776 RX.health. And get ivermectin, methadone right now, ladies and gentlemen. But whatever you do, go to the AlexJoeStore.com. These are incredible products. All these things work. Let's take the names. CMOS, Shilajit, bovine colostrum. Oh, research bovine colostrum and then find out we have the best. Oh, research our CMOS. We have the best. Research Shilajit. We have the best. We just bring you things the bad guys don't want you to know about at thealexjoeStore.com and, of course, at 1776rx.health. Take action now. Thank you so much for your support.
Days, weeks, and even years ahead of the news cycle. AlexJonesLive.com is tomorrow's news today.
From the front lines of the information war, it's Alex Jones.
So Trump is preparing to implement a national draft. Europe is already doing it. The Israel First lobby, Greater Israel lobby, has been pushing us to do it. If you just joined us, the Selective Service has been ordered by Trump to prepare by August 14th to have an AI company chosen to implement the national draft. Trump got it passed last year to prepare this and to get this ready. This is total insanity. Before we expand on that, play some key clips, some new Lindsey Graham stuff from the grave, predicting that Iran would fall within weeks with an uprising they were funding. We already knew this from leaks, but now it's all confirmed. And we'll make more predictions about what's going to happen if we actually have a ground invasion and how we can stop this together. But listen to me. I am listener supported. We need the funds to be able to just stay on air. And I want to expand with more hosts, more reporters, be bigger than we ever were at InfoWars. But I need you to support us and get the incredible products we have at thealexjonesstore.com. We have a huge summer sale going right now. 50% off of things like methylene red capsules and a ultimate power that's even better than Turbo Force. Incredible pre or post workout, 10 hours clean energy. Ultimate power is amazing. A bunch of other stuff is 50% off. That sale's going to end soon at thealexjonesstore.com. The widest selection of Patriot apparel, ball caps, shirts. Now we've got cool wife beaters, muscle shirts with all sorts of cool sayings on it. It's an adventure to wear these. We have all these new cool shorts, workout shorts, hiking stuff, casual dress shirts, super low prices, quality name brands, really great stuff at thealexjonesstore.com. And we need funds. I know they've wrecked the economy. I know everything's insane, but we're important together to stop the next pandemic, to try to stop these wars, to try to get real patriots elected, to get rid of the neocons. We've gained major beachheads here compared to what we had 30 years ago or 10 years ago. But this is an ongoing fight, and we're listener supported. We're not funded by Qatar or Israel or any of those groups. I'm not, running around pushing the New World Order agenda. I am fighting hard, and I'm backed by you, and I need you to back me. I'm backing you. We're in this together separately. Ladies and gentlemen, Bigley has launched an online pharmacy using the same system that the wellness company uses, partnered with them, but it's bigly running and our big sponsor. 1776rx.health. We'll put that on screen. 1776rx.health. Just 1776rx.health. Next week they're going to launch full pharmacy, everything. But right now, when you go online and talk to the nurse or practitioner or doctor, depending on what you are wanting, it's one product we're launching with my decision, and that is ivermectin with benzidol in it. Both powerful, really good anti-parasitics. And it doesn't just get the big worms and all the crap that's out there. You know, Kennedy with a worm in his brain, all the rest of it, and all these serious things that go undiagnosed. It's amoebas, it's microplasms. It is so important. These two together, I mean, ivermectin is a Nobel Prize winning for this, but benzidol is the big one. And folks, it isn't just parasites. Just search benzidol studies. Just put that into a search engine, and you'll see congressional hearings. You'll see top scientists. You'll see all the studies on what else it does that they don't want you to know about. And this is something that my doctors told me, take a few times a year just as a regimen of a total detox. Because anything that's growing fast, anything that's not good, anything that's parasitic, and it's not just little worms and bacteria that can take over your body, it just goes after it in a big way. And it's a big, important cleanse to take. Talk to your physician before. You'll be talking to one, or at least a nurse and doctors. When you go to this is professional, 1776rx.health. Now, my medical doctor told me like 5-6 years ago, whatever it was, he said, yeah, you should do a regimen a couple times a year of ivermectin and benzidol, even before COVID. So it's about 7 years ago. Yeah, it was the same time he told me to do methylene blue, but I got it off Amazon, so it wasn't as good. I was like, this isn't that good. Once I got our medical grade, I'm like, oh my God, that's what everybody's talking about. And that's available at thealexstore.com. So I got it off, same thing, got it online, wasn't a prescription, didn't do the same thing as when I got prescription benzidol. Now I'm taking, starting next week, when I get back, the ivermectin with the benzidol in the same pill, and they, in the studies, have this incredible supercharging effect. It's dramatic. So, and you won't know if you had any kind of parasitic flu or whatever until you've done this. But if you have chronic fatigue, all that stuff, talk to your physician, talk to your healthcare provider, talk to these folks when you go to 1776rx.health, professional full pharmacy. They already have the full suite, but we're doing this first. And a lot of people went there yesterday. A lot of people got it. Very smart move. 1776rx.health. We need your support. We only sell you things that empower you. We have the incredible highest level shower heads with the studies posted by third-party, top scientific firms, that these are the very best shower filters that cut out the most garbage of any system out there. They have the happy little straight frog, tree frog on them. And you absorb the stuff through the skin, you breathe it into your lungs. It's so important. You can also hook it up to your bathtub with an adapter, but it takes seconds to screw on to the normal shower adapter system. It's just a normal shower screw on. Just unscrew it, screw it on. For the bath, everybody has different size nozzles. You got to know the type you have for your bath. Go to Ace or wherever, get the adapter for that. To a standard shower head, put it on for your bath. Really, really important for yourself and your children with all the gender bending chemicals, the forever chemicals, the rest of it. Get the shower heads. Support the broadcast while supporting yourself and your own health. Now, get the collectible coins, very close to selling out, the 250th anniversary. We cannot do this without you. We need your support. These are incredible products that will change your life. The only way we fail is if you don't take action. We all lose out if you don't decide. Those of you on the fence have never supported us. Take action now. Who's fighting this total war? Who predicted all this? Who's fighting the pandemics? Who was right about them cooking up the virus before anybody else? We were. We know what we're talking about. That's why the bad guys want us off the air. When you support this broadcast by spreading the articles and videos and the URL AlexJonesLive.com, when you share the live feeds from Alex Jones on X and on Rumble.com/AlexJones Live, when you do that, it changes the world. I salute you and I thank you, and I ask all of you now, take action. Go to thealexstore.com, become a VIP for $30 a month, cancel anytime, one click for free. Every time you get charged $30 once a month, $40 is put in your account profile instantly to spend, so you make $10 additional dollars right there. If you're buying anything, you should be a VIP, and you get special deals, special offers, and bigger sales on everything. So I want to thank all the VIPs and encourage anybody who's going to get anything on the site to be a VIP with one click at thealexstore.com. But definitely get the ivermectin and benzidol antiviral super system right now at the online pharmacy, 1776rx.health. Don't procrastinate. Take a life in your hands. Take your death in your hands and use the tools God's given us to protect yourself and your family right now at 1776rx.health and the AlexJonesStore.com. Now, I'll bring Rex in here in a moment, my son. Rex has been off and on hosting and doing reports since he was 10 years old. Now he's 23, doing an excellent job at hosting his own show for years. And he's gotten up to, he's always been great, but he's really gotten even better. So now we've got him here with the moment that I said, well, he's good enough to host a show, and he is now. And now that he's been hosting a lot, he's getting even better. And just, we're really proud of Rex. It's going to be great having him here with us off and on throughout the week with all the special guests we've got coming up as well. But let's go ahead now and go to Professor Jane. A few months ago, we also had him on the show to talk about this, predicting they would implement the draft in the next few months. And now we're a few months later, and they're getting ready to do it. He certainly was right there. And then I want to dovetail that back to back with Lindsey Graham in a new documentary, excerpts coming out from Wall Street Journal. CNN has stuff behind the scenes coming out in the first stages of the war 150 days ago. Him saying, oh, he thought the uprising would happen and it was going to fall. We got this from leaks in the White House. Now it's all confirmed out of his mouth. We've also got other Lindsey Graham clips. So let's play 39, 40, and 16. We also have the clip where Trump talks about he just loves to blow stuff up. Lindsey Graham, boy, we sure got him in total war. This is the best thing I ever did. This is truly megalomaniacal. And now they're gearing up national conscription for your sons and your daughters. Here's the clips.
But America has always had a draft. But for the longest time, it didn't really care whether or not you actually signed for the draft. And starting in December, participation in the draft will be automatic, meaning that if you're between 18 to 24 in America and you're male, you'll be automatically put into the draft system.
From when?
I think from December.
This year?
Yes, that is correct, yes.
So between the age of 18 and 25, you think, and what does that really mean? Well, I've not really experienced that in my lifetime. So it means that if you're between the age of 18 and 24, either gender?
No, male.
Male, then you have to sign up for the army.
No, you already put into a draft.
Oh, you're already, okay, but you might be called upon.
That's right, it's a lottery system.
Able to deliver. Oh, to be honest with you, I think about 3 to 4 weeks we should have them in a spot where they start losing control of some cities. And
what do you mean, to go with the bullshit?
Get a few cities to fall.
That's all the stuff I think they got, don't they?
Get the Arabs more openly involved tomorrow, or by the end of the
week. Whatever the sauce that came with it.
Irreversible momentum.
Do you have it on speaker, Ryan?
Yep, we're good.
Okay, all right. Can I
yeah, the other side, I don't know what it was, some kind of aioli or something it was.
I couldn't, I'm just so impressed. Glad to be your friend.
I'm glad you are, my friend.
I'm going to meet with the president this weekend. I'm going down to Doral. I'm going to try to get him to join with y'all in Lebanon, to maybe fly some with you. Would you like that?
Yeah, I get that. I think you have a point, but I've been thinking about the other side of it for a second. I'm concentrating right now on Iran. If we tell Hezbollah that we're going all the way, we threaten them, but if we actually do it, then they have no reason not to go all the way against us. And right now, that's not our interest. We can do it later.
Well, well, that's actually good counsel. I'll put it out there as an idea. We can always go back to it. Iran, he's letting this thing slip away. We had him on the ropes, and his indecision is coming back to hurt us. And I got to go talk to him, open up the straits, keep the pressure on, unleash Israel to hurt them, and maybe you'll get a better deal. But the big deal, Saudi Israel, you went with me. That's the big prize, and that can't happen until Israel and Saudi believe Iran can't be an upheaval force, that they have been put in a box. And here's the good news. MBS and Bibi have two things in common. They owe Trump a lot, like Trump, but they're afraid of Trump. And Trump is the first president who doesn't hold back when it comes to Israel. I mean, I think he's going a bit too far, but he will dress Bibi down in a way that no other Republican president has ever done. That gives him some credibility in the Arab world. And I'm going to exploit that this is the party of Trump. And What I'm trying to do is prove that isolationism is an outlier in our party. So this was a referendum on isolationism versus Lindsey Graham, MAGA Trump.
All right, incredible clips. Let's unpack those. So yes, the draft goes into December, but the law is actually already in place. So now they're setting the AI up by the 14th of next month, August. So the AI then decides who's drafted. Absolutely insane. They're going to total war. Remember 3 weeks ago, Axios leaked by Trump said he's leaning towards ground troops. Now we see troops surging. When I went on this vacation, when I was flying out of Austin and there's other airports, I just saw troops everywhere with their bags, in their plain clothes with their patches and stuff, mainly Army, going to the Middle East. I talked to a lot of them. A lot of them had patches of what country they were going to. It was mainly Jordan. So this is all happening. And then you have him saying, first, in the video we played yesterday, Graham's like, oh, yeah, it'll just take a few days. It's going to be great. Trump loves blowing stuff up. Then it's, we just need a month or so. We need a few cities. We need an uprising. And then you see the most important clip, Netanyahu. He's like, hey, we want to help you take all of Lebanon. He goes, well, we don't want them to know we're taking all of Lebanon, or they'll actually fight us everything they've got. We want to basically sucker punch them. We want to sleepwalk everybody in. We don't want Iran or Lebanon to know we plan to take it all. Now, Ben Gvir has since said that, and we're going to, quote, kill everybody and burn it all down, and it's all ours. And there are other ministers have said that as well. So you could see this happening 100 and some days ago. Let's keep it secret from the public. And you've got the Wall Street Journal and CNN being told, don't put this out till later. We want documentaries made about what we did, showing the behind the scenes. Obviously, Netanyahu knew there were cameras there. And then they have an embargo on that information. It wasn't supposed to come out until we won the war, so they could have Wall Street Journal and CNN specials about how the great neocons won the war, how isolationism was defeated, and the referendum on isolationism and, Trump being anti-war is all discredited now, and he's a wartime president. Isn't it great? Instead, 150 days later, Trump is at a 30% approval rating. He was at 57 a year ago. The oil and gas and energy has totally exploded. We're set to lose the midterms. And now Trump in the threat escalation ladder, doubling down with the mass troop surge. I mean, I'm standing there at 7 a.m. at the Austin Bergstrom Airport, going to check luggage with my daughters I went on vacation with. And it's nothing but Army troops. Men, women, you name it. And they all got their Army tattoos, their backpacks, they got their big Army bags, their big tan bags. People are saying, thank you for your service. I'm talking to them, they're like, yeah, you know where we're going, yeah, Middle East. Well, Alex, I'm a listener, I can't say. Well, you got a sticker, you got a patch on the back of the field. Jordan, well, yeah. So that's what's going on. And then I made a connecting flight, and it was the same thing. I made a connecting flight in a major city, and it was just troops everywhere. And I'm at restaurants, troops, bar, troops, in line, troops. And they were all going to the Middle East. So Middle East. And then when I got to where I was going, I was watching people coming into the airport, and you know what they were? They were soldiers. I've never seen this. Never. I probably wasn't paying attention back during, well, it was 2003 and, 1990. If I'd been at the airport, I'm sure I would have seen the same thing. But that's human intel. It's not just them admitting they're surging, not just admitting they're preparing a ground invasion, not just admitting they're getting the draft ready to be implemented, executed.
Wow, nigga. That's why it hasn't been going up. It's regular grenades, bro.
Rex, you were making some good points during the break. I hope you'll repeat about this is why we were told that MAGA, that was anti-war and pro-liberty, we're not MAGA. No, all the never-Trumpers, Lindsey Graham and Mark Levin and Ben Shapiro, they are MAGA. And Trump told us they are MAGA now. And Trump doesn't care about the average plight, he said, of Americans. I don't care about anybody who's having financial problems. I care about war. I'm worried about Social Security, Medicare, Medicaid, or daycare. I'm worried. There's no inflation. There's no affordability crisis. Mark Mitchell a year ago went and war in the White House. They saw my show. J.D. Vance brought him there to meet the president. He just blew it off. And then Mark Mitchell got told by Rasmussen, don't do interviews anymore and don't tell the president this. And he left. He was on yesterday. So that's the level of them trying to put Trump in a bubble. You heard Lindsey Graham, I got to get back over, and he's hesitating again. I got to get him back in the war. So all these same people, other than Graham, who's dead now, his funeral today, all these people, we need to cover that. Big war council, we got Zelensky and Netanyahu coming to town. You got Zelensky saying to show evidence. The Russians are helping the Iranians. They're all here to accelerate this giant war. Rex Jones.
Yeah, it's like a giant mafia funeral, right? It reminds me of The Sopranos. That's where the real deals get done, the real hits get set out, ordered, and made. And, you know, there's a lot of talk about Netanyahu and Zelensky visiting, and I do want to get into that with you. This is why I am so grateful and proud that we are an anti-war network and that I was raised in an anti-war environment. Because it was unacceptable then, it's unacceptable now. And that's why our position of this network and the guests we have on and many other credible journalists, intel agents, people like Larry Johnson, you name it, is that this is a complete betrayal of the Trump platform. This is a complete betrayal of the Trump recovery. And the same people who will make excuses for it, call it limited strikes, it's a war, but it's not a war. It's been going on for 47 years. It needs to go on for another 20 years as well, but it's not a war. At the same time, the people pushing that at a certain point are going to realize that they can't ever talk about politics again. I think that's coming very, very soon. I'm 23 years old. I see a lot of these people age 45, 50 plus talking about how this isn't a conflict, talking about how we have to support Trump at all costs because the Democrats are so much worse. Here's what I'd say. You want to talk about a ready-made campaign ad for the midterms? How about that coffin coming home? You know, how about those coffins, plural, coming home? How about the 4 Americans that just died? Tyler, Sarah, Angel, and Michael that Trump now says didn't die in the Iran war. I mean, you want to talk about dishonor. You want to talk about someone betraying the troops. That's what Trump is doing by saying that. And we all know we're at full war. We all know it's a full conflict. That's what I think, Dad.
You're absolutely right, Rex. And let's just remember this. Ben Shapiro, when they put over $1 billion on Israeli money on record into his Daily Wire, did become one of the top shows, the top 3 or 4 for a few years. His average YouTube videos had about 2 million views apiece. His average report has about 5,000 on his own channel. Now, when we play it or others expose it, he gets millions of views. But that's hate. Like when I talked to Brian Stelter once on the phone, when I was with Tucker Carlson, we called him up. And I said, you know, your show had no ratings except when we attacked you. On our shows, you're a big star as a clown. And so Shapiro goes from 2 million, you can look it up, 2 or 3 years ago, 2 million per video on average. And then it goes down. And there's graphs that show this, and now it's flatlined at the bottom. You have to blow the graph up to even see it. It looks like it just goes away. So it goes, So they are throwing themselves on their own swords because they're kamikazes.
Well, they don't care.
They are throwing themselves on their... Exactly. They have a mission to get us into total war. That is their plan. They've basically done it. They're merging with our military and intelligence. This is a coup. This is total insanity. You know, we got the Chi-Coms to deal with. We got big tech. We got the data centers. You know, it's great that Trump at least shut down the border. The deportations aren't good enough.
Damn, that's what it was. We've been fucking throwing grenades around fucking multiple matches. And I kept saying to myself, I'm like, well, these are not going off. It's not fucking airburst grenades. It's only fucking incendiary grenades.
Does Trump think, Tulsi Gabbard, does Trump think General Kane, who he's kept on, the chairman that told him don't do it, does he, no, you never hear him praise him anymore. They fired that out of the Army because he didn't agree with this and said it was insane when they wanted to get a ground invasion. Trump's yelled at the admirals who won't put their ships in the strait where they can all be sunk. This is the reality of this, and so all the never-Trumpers that hated Trump and that lied to him, they're better than ever. They're wonderful because they're saying Trump was right, and all of us that knew we were talking about and predicted all of this, we're bad.
Here's the thing. Our love comes cheap, Dad. That's why he doesn't care about it. He has a pathological need to be liked by the people that hate him. And, you know, we genuinely cared. We believed in the platform. We believed in the truth. That's why I supported Trump in 2016 and then again in 2024, right? I pulled the cross out of my shirt and told people to vote for him the night the assassination attempt happened in Butler because I genuinely believed they wanted to kill him because he was pro-peace, anti-war. That was my position. I 100% believed that, and I was motivated. I felt in that moment by God to do that. And I look back at what's happened now. It's a complete and utter and total betrayal. It's not our fault.
Let's be clear. Let's be clear. The left says, oh, you were wrong to support him for 10 years. You're an idiot. No, he was way better. We got a lot good done.
Sure.
He was a beachhead. It isn't about, oh, we're good, we didn't make a mistake. It's about history. It's about what happened. The point is, with the Epstein files in June of last year, And the cover that was decided to happen when Elon left, that's when he decided to join with the dark side completely. So it's like Obi-Wan Kenobi's telling Luke, what happened to your father? Well, he was killed by my apprentice. He was killed by a pupil of mine, Darth Vader. And later he finds out, well, technically, no, his dad wasn't dead, but Obi-Wan says, you have to understand, he became a new person. He became a new identity, a new name. He literally died inside. So the point is, Trump, for whatever he was before, got a lot of good done, but now we have to admit he is now Darth Vader. But separate from that, we have to contain him, we have to deal with him, and then deal with the Democrats, who, when they get in, will be an even bigger threat. But the reality is Trump is the main current threat we're facing right now. This war could potentially end the planet. It's definitely killing the economy in the midterms. It's going to get a bunch of people killed, even more, if we go to full war. Understand, folks, there's a normalcy bias. This isn't like Iraq or Afghanistan or Vietnam. This is way worse. The Pentagon's own reports, Trump has been absolutely conned by Netanyahu and Lindsey Graham and others. You heard them bragging how they brainwashed him. And so, but the good news is everybody from Laura Ingraham to Glenn Beck to Bill O'Reilly have told Trump he needs to stop the war now. Beck did it real nice. Like, boy, you were right. You kept prices down some, but now you can't. The oil reserve's gone, so you better end this right now or it's a total disaster, Trump. But boy, you're a genius. He's trying to actually get Trump to listen. That's the psychology that works, I think. But Bill O'Reilly, everybody else is saying, Trump, you're making big mistakes in the war now because they understand it's not winnable. Like I said back on June 1st, March 1st, if you could hit a button and send the mullahs, to the Phantom Zone or Mars, I'd do it. But it isn't going to work. And then Israel, it's not just get rid of the mullahs. Israel wants this with conflict and division to keep expanding and wants us to backstop their greater Israel project. Now they want to attack Turkey. Now they want to attack Egypt. And then there's Netanyahu saying it. This is crazy. We'll be right back with hour number 2. Rex Jones, Kyle Seraphin, Mike Adams, and so much more. Share those live feeds now at Real Off Shows on X and tell folks about those local AM and FM stations. And please support us with the very best products at thealexshowstore.com.
When the deep state removed Richard Nixon back in 1974, he had the highest.
You made it for the storm. It's starting to get dark.
So now there's this rediscovery of Nixon, and he certainly has established. We have an entire line of Nixon 2028 shirts that are extremely triggering to libtards and others, and so many other incredible designs now available at thealexshowstore.com. But whatever you do, visit the site, the very best supplements.
When we were looking at the stuff, they said the jump. Now they talking about they gonna use the AI for the draft. When we was looking at it, we seen it on the contracts that it's how they go fucking. And then remember you thought stuff, oh, they not gonna get it. Remember that was last year. And you was like, remember they moved it to 40 years old. Right. And you was like, now I'm gonna get drafted. Now they're making a new draft. They're using the AI now to make the new draft systems. They say they want it done in 3 weeks. We just was looking at the contracts the other day, talking about what they want nuclear projects. So Jones and them, they gonna go to war. They're gonna do a ground invasion on Iran. Lindsey Graham is dead. Now these videos are coming from Lindsey. Stephen Christian and Netanyahu. President Trump, when I told them, so they killed Lindsey. They killed yesterday because he was running his motherfucking mouth like he was the president. They got Lindsey out the way on the mountain. I'm reading number 2. They got him out the way. Now Lindsey gone. And I used to see how Lindsey was talking because he didn't want to go to war because I was to him. I'm like, Lindsey, you be on the phone. You didn't make it out like Lindsey. Yeah, Lindsey got that. Yeah, he was bringing his rock. That's like he was the president. But they didn't got Lindsey out of there.
Cycle. AlexJonesLive.com is tomorrow's news today.
But if you wanna find help, I'm gonna show you what it's like.
It's going down. Damn, how many times do I gotta throw a grenade at somebody until I can get money? Damn food here. Might be the last one, boys. Let's make it count. Hold that. Get that grenade and get that in there. Hold that grenade on your skin.
Crashing to the lies
But I can't hear you far away. I'm the thing volume loud.
1776 worldwide is Alex Jones.
Okay.
All right, Rex Jones, my great son, riding shotgun with us. When I said earlier, he's hosting the show now because he's gotten good enough. 23, been on the air off and on for 13 years. He was 10, been hosting for years his own show, and he's here because he's doing a great job. So is Harrison Smith. We intend to hire a lot more crew. We intend to expand. We need your support, your word of mouth, thealexjonestore.com. Now, we got Kyle Seraphin coming up. I want to talk to him some about geopolitics. He's a veteran, former counterterrorism FBI. You got a bunch of the big subjects with him coming up. Then Mike Adams, what an expert on so many facets, not just an engineer, but
Been throwing the wrong grenades at people the whole time.
He is on target about already what the Strait of Hormuz closure is going to mean. They're talking about $160 a barrel oil, not just $140. This is a huge deal. Strategic oil runs out basically in the next few days. EU's running out. China's running out with their reserves. This is massive, but the big issue is how to stop Trump. And we have to have Congress go for the war powers. They've 3 times tried to vote war powers. They're supposed to authorize a war. This is a war. They're getting the draft ready. If this isn't a war, nothing's a war. I mean, this is absolutely out of control. And so I'm calling for it right now. 25th Amendment, impeachment, whatever.
Trump now, don't talk about he want to impeach him.
To get control.
Don't say impeach him. 25th Amendment.
I agree with Tucker Carlson and all of the people that voted for this. The mergers with the foreign military. It actually says in Section 219, clear as day.
There's no impeaching him now. Y'all done let him out the bag. The cat's out the bag now.
Coming with this. They want us in a total war so they can censor and take our freedoms and nationalize everything and push us aside with AI, total liability, immunity, and protection. This is a disaster. We are facing tyranny, but the public's awakening. We've got to come together and transcend left and right, and we have to say no to an expanded war that will definitely destroy the economy, kill a bunch of our troops. They're preparing a massive ground invasion. It's all confirmed. This is going down right now. Rex, what do you think we should do to spotlight this? I'll tell listeners, we're live right now. Share a live feed. We're going to cut all this up. Breaking Alex Jones calls for impeachment of President Trump for attempt to implement the national draft and launch total ground invasion of Iran. Americans left and right must come together now and demand Congress invoke the war powers and end this war now. The Senate must vote down the NDAA that's already passed the House. We have our action plan. Rex Jones, what do you say?
Well, I mean, they're getting ready right now. All those soldiers you saw at the airport going to Kuwait, Jordan, Israel, other places in the Middle East.
They're preparing.
Want those soldiers to be used in a ground operation. They're doing the shaping operations for that right now. I've talked to Joe Kent or Anthony Aguilar, Special Forces operators, about this all the time. They want those soldiers to die because then American nationalism will rise. We'll get upset and we'll say, hey, it's time for the draft. We'll accept it. That is where I see all of this going. This is the most dangerous time to be a young person in America in a very, very long period of our history. They want to draft us. They want to kill us in a war manufactured for Israel, by Israel. That's what Joe Kent said in his resignation letter. He said that his wife Shannon died in a war manufactured by Israel. We're just in another one of those. Now, I don't know what direction it goes immediately. The escalation ladder, the escalation trap, world-renowned professor and geopolitical analyst Robert Pape talks about this all the time. There are no brakes on this train. And that's why my position, since I covered this at 2 a.m. in the morning,
there is no
February
brakes.
28th, March 1st, my position has been stop it now, leave now, take our troops home.
You gotta try and put yours on a plate.
Everyone's tried to stroke the president's ego. Everyone's tried to be in the in club and hang out at Mar-a-Lago and to go to the parties. Here's the thing. That's like Berlin when it's being bombed by the Russians. That's where you're at. That's where we are. And it's time to wake up from that. We'll see you on the next segment.
I agree. That's like Hitler in his bunkers. The Russians come into Berlin. Dead on Rex Jones. We'll be right back. Stay with us. So many huge guests coming up. Share the live feeds now. Your Paul Revere. Share them now.
I see you sitting there on that couch every damn day watching the fight, but never throwing a punch for the cause. We're in the ring for you. Now you get in it for us. I don't got a lot of money, but I give what I can. These bottles right here, they fuel the fight. Alex is out there swinging for us. Least I can do is swing back.
How many people was in there now? Now that there wasn't no soccer.
A lot of people on that.
That's
But they got a different place you go now to actually order takeout.
Oh, they finally got it correct.
Yeah, you go out, and there's another door that's close to the bank. It's not where the bar is, not like that. It's a place where you go and get the ice cream. They got an ice cream bar.
You know that guy that used to have a diner where you go walk up to the side.
But you get inside, you have to go inside. Ain't that no good flavor? And you order your takeout from there.
Now into hour number 2 of
What kind of flavor does it supposed to be? Chocolate, vanilla?
2026 transmission.
I ain't no butter pecan, nothing, no nuts.
I don't know, damn bro, pecan so broke.
Service and Pentagon to prepare an AI bid by the 14th of August to implement the national draft. The law was already passed last year to implement the draft this year. They're openly saying they need hundreds of thousands, 500,000 troops to invade Iran. Joe Kent and many others have said on this show, and I agree with them, that they want to get troops into Kyrgyz Island at first, where they'll be surrounded and killed. Then we'll be told, now we got to go to full ground invasion. That is the plan, putting our pawn out there.
Yeah, good job looking and making sure.
Sacrifice.
Yeah.
I have 3 children.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Who is 23, Charlotte, who's 22, and Georgia, who is 18 now. I have a 9-year-old daughter. I have 3 children. That's a meat.
Well, you don't speak no English, so I'm like, I gotta decipher what the hell you be saying. I'm like, I think he's trying to say there's missing a saw, but you play this weird woman game where you speak in code, try to bait people into communicating. And so instead you like, you sure you want some other saw? I'm like, what the fuck is he talking about? Instead of saying it's missing a saw, you kind of talking code and shit. So I'm like, don't get mad, just figure out what the fuck she's saying. I think he's trying to say it's missing a saw.
Accurate and smart guy when it comes to his whistleblowing. And I wanted to get him on because he was right. And Cashtel's in a lot of trouble. We'll get to that a little bit. And we also know prosecutions, what's going on with the record level sweetheart deals and insider trading that would make Hunter Biden blush. But we'll get to that later in the hour. I want to get Kyle Serafin's take on the geopolitics and what we do. Congress has had 3 war powers.
Whether you don't like it, it's cold.
You're in a full war. You're supposed to declare war. Those votes have all failed, including one of 3 votes last week. It's time for them to invoke the war powers and cut this.
Gotta finish up, get this last question on, then we'll talk about the stuff I found.
Colluding with a foreign government to conduct a coup, merging us with the Israeli intelligence, calling for him to be 25th Amendment for trying to get us into this war he's already got us into, lying to us, totally half-baked, saying he had all these peace deals when the Iranians never signed anything, having the strait closed, saying it's open, just everything President Trump has done. It's time to totally decouple from Trump psychologically as Republicans are populists. Expose the Democrats. They have the votes with the few Republicans to override this. They haven't. Deal with them. Deal with Communist China. Cut off Israel, who's trying to merge their military and co-own all of our weapon systems. So whether it's impeachment, 25th Amendment, those are long shots, but we can use that to make this front and center and protest peacefully. You go to the state houses.
They saw that. They put it in the
Yeah, I lined it with aluminum foil.
Bottom line, the easiest path is the war powers. They need to invoke the war powers. We only need 3 votes. Congress needs to stop this now. And you see everybody from Laura Ingraham to Glenn Beck to Bill O'Reilly to so many others.
Wait, the cheese don't go anymore.
Now, this is devastating the economy. It's going to kill us in the midterms, and that's just the old 150 days with the bombardments, the strait being closed.
God damn it! How many of these things do I gotta throw?
Sheriff and Rex, but I wanted you, as a young man, a prime target of this, with them eyeing you with AI to be drafted and be sent to the Middle East to fight for Israel. What is that like?
Yeah, so I grew up at the office. I think the original InfoWars office, first time I ever went in there was when we got it when I was like 7 years old. And the entire nature of our network, since its founding, since literally before I was born, was an anti-war network. It was calling out the neocons, the globalist policy. What that means is building this empire of, manufactured transnational capital combined with our own military-industrial complex to a degree. Now, we're not even only dealing with our own military military-industrial complex, we're going to be fusing and allowing Israel to take control of us. So I look at it as a 23-year-old young man, and I see all these people that are 60, 70, 80 years old in Congress, in the Senate, like Lindsey Graham, 71 years old, talking about if we can do Iwo Jima, we can do this. What am I dying for, Lindsey? Like, if I'm going to go get drafted, go get blown up by an FPV drone, or if an Iranian 14-year-old is going to fire an RPG at my head, what am I dying for?
You dying because we told you to. See, that the white people ain't having a crisis. Because they just lied to themselves so deeply, they done got a group of white people who believe them. The liars don't understand. Look at what we do here, huh? So what, the TV?
Young American, I don't have any say in that. I am a member of the greatest nation on earth, a nation of over 300 million people, and we're that can call the government of a nation of 9 million people, and that is just the reality. You talk about Ukraine as well, and I think this is worth bringing up. They want to throw us in buses and take us to the front line. And you say, "Oh, that's outrageous! That's outrageous." We hear about these,
like Ukraine.
We hear about these armies, Dad.
And what humans are in Ukraine, they admit, is decoys for the Russians to attack with drones and artillery, so that satellites the U.S. runs can target the Russians. They're literally fed to cannons. The World War I term, cannon fodder, cannon feed. Now, let's bring in Kyle Seraphin. I want to be very, very clear with everyone right now. This is all happening. Get past your normalcy bias. It's only going to get worse, so people get awake and get active and get very, very upset. And I'm not defending Israel here. You get a bigger picture. Israel is the main lobby in AIPAC. It is the muscle to get this passed, to primary anybody that doesn't support total war and Israel taking over our foreign and domestic policy completely. But you also have the military-industrial complex, the arms manufacturers already selling $1 trillion a year worldwide. You're getting $1.5 trillion here domestically. They want it. You also have the big BlackRock globalists that want a world depression as a great reset. They've been bragging this war is depressing the world economy, which bankrupts the individual and nation states and allows them vertical integration and consolidation. So those systems are supporting the war as well. And then domestically, the politicians want a big war to take our liberties and our freedoms instead of a bigger surveillance police state grid. So you have a lot of different corrupt forces, a lot of them interconnected. The Epstein class wanting this as a distraction from that. That also goes to Israel and Mossad. So it's Israel heavily nested in all of this, but it's also a perfect storm. We need to understand the other interests that want us in this as well. Let's bring in Kyle Seraphin, former EMT, former Air Force veteran, counterterrorism, FBI agent, and the most famous FBI whistleblower ever. He's got about a 99% accuracy rate to give us his take as an American, as a father, as a Catholic, on this big geopolitical system, what he thinks we should do to shut down the implementation of the draft that is now official. The articles with all government documents are at AlexJonesLive.com. The mothership coordinates. Kyle Seraphin will put up all of his URLs for his very popular podcast as well. Imagine the censorship during a total war. We are on the cusp. We're already in the New World War, folks. All the experts agree. But now it's about to get a lot hotter. We're about to go from red hot to white hot. Kyle Seraphin, your analysis.
Joneses. Hello, gentlemen. It's good talking to you guys. This is an interesting time. I'm not nearly as riled up as what I just heard. Although that's all those things are disconcerting. I just see this as a continuation of what we've seen from Donald Trump. I'm interested in your discussion about wanting a impeachment. That you think that there's any energy to do that, or that even Congress would act and do a war powers when we've seen that they basically had the opportunity to do that, they've chosen not to. And it would indicate that Donald Trump is driving this ship, and I don't think that's what's going on here. That doesn't seem to be the case. I'm not watching a Donald Trump, the same guy that I saw who claimed that he was the president of peace. I'm not seeing the guy that said he was going to go make America healthy again and had RFK Jr. come in, that he was going to go and show a bunch of declassified documents.
I believe what he said was real.
I'm not seeing that guy running the show. It doesn't seem like he's actually running it at all. What I do see is that he's been kind of manipulated from the background, and it seems like the people, like the status quo, is what's getting its way. And the status quo is kind of like the American GOP neocons. They're getting warned.
They said it's going for it.
I agree. 2 weeks ago.
See, I told you I got the only time you're going to be having that ranch. You got two different kind of white people. Then you got the low-level white people like the tall people who y'all kicking with, and then you have the rich white people. So the real white people allow the white people to believe in it. we do here, which is make white power, and to continue white dominance whatever white do. You see what I'm saying? And they just, some white people who just ain't really down with that, so they just let them believe that and whatever. But the real white people know, white independent people, they be regular like Christians, you already know when it comes to something that ain't white. They say it's white people. And you got the people who don't think, whatever they are from whatever they like walking school and shit, and they like, hey, let everybody, I have black friends, and they just let them play around with it. But that's not the white race. The real white race does what the white race, whatever, however, and whatever they want to do, whenever they want to do it, in any kind of manner that they want to do it. You know what I mean? And it's just hardcore when you hear that out loud. They just don't see it loud music like that. See, now they thought Donnie Chuck was going to do something, but that nigga's a white man. He cared about white people to white people. He white shit. You can't get him? Praying to my God and give me You see what I'm saying? Because now you got these other white people there. You can't believe he would do that. What you believe he thought? What you saying to him?
Not the Pentagon actually and say we have to have the draft if we're given this order, so that I understand there's a normalcy.
Even though he's saying that, so he can get all the white people on the same boat at the same time. But that ain't the team he played for. So they don't know, they're all confused. They don't know what team they're in now. You feel bamboozled.
We should have them in a spot where they start losing.
And they don't realize, nigga, that's who he was. That's who he is. That's who you are. Whether you know it or not.
Get a few cities to fall in the next month. Get the Arabs more openly involved tomorrow.
Now the bus is telling me they go to the deposit control.
To do what? The paycheck?
No, to take the joy weed up there and deposit.
The black lady?
Yeah.
So you ain't gonna go see your girl?
Not that he paid.
Hey, baby Lindsay.
When I was talking to you, I was telling you I was talking. And she was right there, and I was like, oh man, it's like.
I'm just so impressed. Glad to be your friend.
What are you doing? I said, oh Lord.
And now I'm talking to 20 years.
Well, I keep on talking to me, thank him. So I'm gonna talk to him, but I see him and well.
I'm gonna try to
get
to maybe fly some with you. Would you like that?
Yeah,
oh Lord, no.
I get that. I think you have a point.
We boys, you supposed to be changing your clothes right now, saying, "Oh, no, no."
Concentrating right now on your phone. If we tell Hezbollah
Storm?
we're going all over,
We always been in children.
I kept saying that.
Okay.
and they have no reason not to.
And you got the damn the plugs for the photography. You so the goddamn get it done.
Okay, well that's actually good counsel.
If I finally got damn finished this,
we can
listen.
always go back to it.
We're talking about this listen I'm doing.
He's letting his thing slip away. We had him on the ropes and his indecision.
Oh my God.
I think it's gotta be.
I gotta go talk to him, you know. Open up the straits, keep the pressure on. Unleash Israel to hurt him, and maybe you'll get a better deal. But the big deal, Saudi Israel went with me. That's the big prize, and that can't happen until Israel and Saudi believe Iran can't.
And take it down the summer to
That's what they do for thousands.
That they've been put in a box. Here's the good news: MBS and BBF. Two things they owe Trump a lot, but they're free to
And then what they do, they take the ice and throw weed and shit over top of it.
who doesn't hold back when it comes to Israel.
Put it on his book. They don't clump from the side of this thing right here, and then he's on the collar and everything, and put on his book and did back away because of this. And that, he thought that was my doubt. If he asked me for autograph, this is what they wanted.
Trying to do is prove that isolationism is an outlier in our party.
And
so this was a
they go down there, they sell it, they make some kind of cook drink, and they give him a drink, you know, so he got something to drink. So you like them or whatever, so take one, and you go down to another bar, and get them their height. And they take all the straw stuff on him, and they keep it from, you know, milking so fast, and they put straw in it.
What's what they've been doing?
He's dead, and so what did you see today? We've got a meeting with Bibi Netanyahu, and we've got Vladimir Zelensky
and the climate has changed.
Now it's not making as much money.
because the proxy's not there.
Green doesn't make it ice, it ain't even making ice, it's just water.
No, man, that's not good.
That's what it was all about. The fact that the ICE thing that was all his family, whatever. But they did they died. Gone because the water that took the global warming or whatever.
Yeah. And he's advising military plans and what he wants to see implemented, and he's discussing what on earth are we even talking about here that guy was in that position and that anybody
He has to go further up on that, that's what his whole life, and he get her out there.
Maybe not the express.
But he chopped it up his thing, and he chopped it up, and he put the hang thing on top of it, he put on the guns and back, and then he walked all the way back down.
So maybe you don't
It's a long way net right down because you have to put it up to get the ice man.
2003.
But while he walking on these different streams, the water going down, where he said that would have been ice right there. He don't have to go so far up. And then the water just going down the mountain.
Lindsey Graham was sitting in a position of some authority, although no executive authority. So I don't know. I look at these guys that are out there making these calls, and I see is more of the same. I see
they went up into the mountain to get the ice.
The war machine only knows Rex's life. That the United States has been in a position of war against, sort of not necessarily for our own best interest. A lot of guys went over.
That's a key point you made.
Keep going there.
Yesterday, the Wall Street Journal got.
Well, no, because I'm doing something different than you.
Trump has said from these videos that they had in
I really let it go all the way, but you never know. Sometimes they put it in for less or longer.
That literally Graham was Trump's brain to a great extent. This is unbelievable.
Because it's frozen, so increase the time, but turn down the temperature.
25 years or so, this country is basically in a permanent state of war, and nobody in America really felt it. And that's something I knew. I enlisted when I was in 2009. A lot of my friends.
All right, billionaires. I think we're gonna call it right there. I'll be back.
When I was in college is when 9/11 happened.
Let me check and see if I got my fucking
point. Generational conflict in the Middle East, both in in Iraq, it happened in Afghanistan, etc. So all of that stuff went on for all of my adult life. And watching people who have only known that, I think that people voted, especially young people came out and turned out because we had a president that ran on the concept. He literally said, I am peace. I'm the president of peace. I'm going to, everyone else wants to start wars. I'm going to be the guy that ends them. And I'm going to end the war in Ukraine. And
going, Kyle? How's the referendum going? Him supporting the Laura Loomers and the Ben Shapiro's and Mark Levin's. It's killed him, and he's lost all his support. He's at 30.
Hey, we're gonna call it right there.
He's just destroying himself.
It's been fun, Money Booty Show.